are live inside the battlefield at Ben Glover Stadium for a 5A Region 1 matchup. LaFlore enters the game with one win on the season, but a defeat over the Red Raiders tonight could spell disaster for BC Reign as they fight to stay in playoff contention. Can the Red Raiders handle their business to keep their playoff dreams alive, or will the Rattlers strike back on their way to capturing their second win of the year? We're about to find out with another edition of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Good evening, I'm Al Wheaton, joined by Corey LeBounty. We're glad you're with us. Corey, two teams tonight going in two opposite directions.
Yeah, you look at the success of the BC Reign Red Raiders and their head coach Lawrence Yelding. Is this the trap game? They were able to defeat UMS Wright 1 week ago for the first time since 1972. So that was a huge win in the right direction. The last time we were here, we saw them defeat Centronel, which was a huge region win also. So the Rattlers trying to get things back on track tonight and trying to strike at the right time.
LaFlore won their first game of the season over Chickasaw, but they have been shut out the rest of the way, just putting up L's. Kind of a pun since it is LaFlore with the alphabet L, but tonight they're looking to right the ship and kind of play spoiler. Like I said when we talked on your show today, if they could get a win tonight, that's going to put a lot of pressure on BC Reign. They have Alberta next week, and then they're at Gulf Shores for week 10.
Every game here on out, you want to control your own destiny, and that's what the Red Raiders are trying to do tonight. They want to take care of business, and if they're able to do so, they'll put them in position to guarantee themselves a playoff spot.
All right, Corey, let's head over to your checklist and find out what these teams need to do to get that win tonight.
BC Reign has to rattle the Rattlers early, and what do I mean by that? Jump on them 14, 21, nothing early. Don't let them stick around. They have to limit the penalties. We saw them a couple of weeks ago commit some 17 penalties for over 100 yards. They cleaned that up last week against UMS Wright. They want to play clean tonight. They have to win the turnover takeaway battle. They want to make sure LaFlore has a lot of turnovers and they're able to go ahead and limit the amount of turnovers that they have. LaFlore needs to create a rain drought. And what do I mean by that rain drought? Want to contain the running game and make sure there is not a lot of offense ability for this Red Raider offense. They need to move the sticks. You can't go 3 and out. You have to make sure that you're producing offensively to keep the defense off the field and limit the yards after catching contact. We call that yak yards.
Right.
It's going to be important for them to wrap up and strike.
Because those Red Raiders, they got some guys who can rack up some yak, if you know what I'm saying. We're down here at Ben Glover Stadium on the campus of BC Reign. I don't really see any rain in the forecast. Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn for our BSN weather forecast.
That's right, guys. We do not have to worry about the rain tonight. It's only showing a 1% chance. I guess they just throw that in there because it's Mobile, Alabama, and anything can happen. But it is a beautiful night for football. We're going to be starting at kickoff with 76 degrees. It's going to go down from there all the way to 69. That humidity is a little bit high, but again, we're here in Mobile, so that's to be expected. But other than that, we will have a great night for football. Both of these teams should have excellent playing conditions. And talking with both coaches before the game, they said really records are out the window because they both have a lot of respect for each other and they can know that anything can happen in this competition tonight.
All right, thank you, Kimberly. We do appreciate that. She is absolutely correct. You can throw the records out the window, Corey, because for LaFlore, it's all about pride. I mean, for BC Reign, they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. Something I told Coach Yeldon before the game, it's kind of like the playoffs have started for the Red Raiders tonight.
Absolutely. This is a must-win for the Red Raiders. You're playing in front of your home crowd, and you have an opportunity to continue the positive momentum that's being built within this Lawrence Yeldon program, trying to get the Red Raiders back to the playoffs for the first time in a couple of years.
All right, let's get down to the nuts and bolts of the game. It's time for our Threaded Faster's impact players. Corey, who's going to make the impact tonight for both of these teams?
Amari Yeldon, the senior quarterback for the Red Raiders, coming off a 5-touchdown performance last week. You see the star on his helmet. He was our Crichton Optimist Club Player of the Week, and he is the son of the head football coach of BC Reign. Linebacker Ricky Nichols, he's a flat-out striker, sideline to sideline. He has great speed and great strength. Looking for a big performance out of number 2 tonight. For the LaFlore Rattlers, you have linebacker Jamarcus Lett. He's a freshman, and he has been all over the field, sideline to sideline, for LeFlore and athlete D'Antonio LaSure. We'll be calling his name both offensively and defensively for the LaFlore Rattlers tonight. This young man is a spectacular athlete and will be on display tonight for the Rattlers.
Threaded Fasteners, providing solutions from the ground up since 1979. Got to thank them for being our Impact Player sponsor for tonight. Corey, we've talked about the implications. We just hit it right on the head. It's a must-win for BC Rain tonight. So let's put up the 5A Region 1 standings. You can probably get a better idea of what we're talking about with this graphic that illustrates the log jam that we have kind of smack dab in the middle of 5A Region 1. Gulf Shores has pretty much clinched a payoff spot. They're #1 in the state in 5A. They're on a bye tonight. Viger is playing Alberta tonight, and you have BC Rain, of course, hosting LaFlore. And that one right there in the middle, Corey, UMS Wright hosting Citronelle. That's got a lot of consequences. We know UMS Wright picked up the forfeit win from Viger a couple weeks ago. But think about this. Citronelle has beat Faith Academy. BC Rain has beat Citronelle and UMS Wright, but BC Rain has lost to Faith Academy. But guess what? UMS Wright plays Faith Academy next week, Corey. I'm already confused, man.
Absolutely. It's a log jam there. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 in the polls right there for 5A Region 1 have an opportunity to stay alive, and every game is going to be critical.
I mean, you have to look at this way. Right now, we can say Gulf Shores, for all intents and purposes, they're probably going to win the region outright. But number 2, number 3, and number 4, those slots have yet to be determined, Corey. It is truly up in the air. It'll probably come down to week 10.
Yeah, you see great football in 5A Region 1. You mentioned it earlier today on my show about 5A Region 1 being just as competitive as 6A Region 1 has been in the past. And when you have that type of logjam, especially with the #1 ranked team in 5A in the state coming from 5A Region 1, every single week it's going to be a battle trying to knock one another off. And we'll see here possibly a 4 seed can beat a 1 seed for any other region in the state of Alabama.
Let's take it down to the field. Anthony Garrett, he's our white hat tonight. We're going to peek in on the coin toss and find out who is going to receive this ball first.
Fellas, I want y'all to show good sportsmanship at all times right here, okay, fellas? When y'all hear that whistle blow, man, let's stop on them dead ball situation, all right? So if you've been team, I want you to call in there, okay? Tails, heads. Tails, heads. What you call in there? What you got? Call loud enough so that man down there can hear you, all right? All right, here you go. Call it. What? Head. Heads is. Okay. Okay. You want the first, second half, so that you got right here. So that means you're going to get the ball, okay? Which goal you want to defend, man? Y'all want to defend this? Okay, y'all come over here. Y'all step over there, fellas. All right, whoop, it's all right there, fellas. All right, we're going to see. All right, let's shake hands, fellas. Have a good game, man.
Great job by Anthony Garrett, our white hat. LaFlore wins the toss. They've deferred until the second half, so we'll take a break and come back and give you the kickoff. BC Rain will have the ball first in this 5A Region 1 matchup. The MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week is headed your way up next.
Mobile County Public Schools completes about $100 million in school construction each year. And we're looking for new contractors and construction vendors to help us ensure that all students are learning in top-notch facilities. Is your company interested in becoming a construction vendor for Mobile County Public Schools so you can bid on these projects? We need contractors, plumbers, HVAC installers, roofers, electricians, painters, and more. Follow these steps to become a vendor. Number 1, complete the vendor application online. Under System, select Business, and then under Resources, click Vendor Online Application. Number 2, enter the vendor portal. Click Apply to agree to the terms and click Save and Next. Number 3, enter your business information as prompted. A tax ID number or social security number will be required to complete the application. At the bottom of each page, click Save and Next. To find out what projects are currently open for bidding, visit mcpss.com/bid invitation. Follow MCPSS Facilities Facebook page and email facilities to receive notifications. Complete these easy steps, and your company soon may be part of Team MCPSS.
children with special needs deserve a place to play. That is why we are coming together to build the Miracle League of West Mobile Schmidt Family Park. It will include a special needs ball field and playground, regulation baseball and softball fields, and more. We have raised more than $1 million and construction will start soon. But we need your help to complete the project. Visit MCPSS.com/Miracle League to donate and to learn more. Any dollar amount will help bring a smile to a child's face. Together, we can make a miracle.
We are moments away from kickoff here at Ben Glover Stadium. BC Rain lining up to receive this kick coming from LeFlore, as LeFlore won the toss, but they deferred to the second half. Dylan Robinson right there, and Miriam Davis will be back to receive the ball for BC Rain. I'm loving the gray jerseys tonight that the Red Raiders have on, Corey.
Absolutely, it's a nice touch. The last time we did see them, we didn't see them in their grays, so the gray and red numerals, I like that. And I like LaFlore's white uniforms with the LaFlore green helmet, also the orange and green on point tonight as well.
Looking good, looking good. Back to kickoff for the Rattlers. D'Antonio LaFlore, one of your impact players for tonight. Reason you have him listed as an athlete, Corey, he kicks, he plays quarterback, plays some defense as well. He's probably going to be on every play for LaFlore tonight. Yeah,
he's one of those guys. It's just that special type of athlete that you ask to do a lot in 5A football, but he's very capable of doing such, and he will have an opportunity to keep this ball in play, because the biggest thing is when you're not a true kicker, you want to make sure that you keep the ball in bounds and don't kick it out of bounds to begin the football game.
Bands have started up already as we await this kickoff from LaFlore, and there's the mighty marching Rattlers entering the visiting side of the stadium here at Ben Glover Stadium. And as soon as LaFlore get the word, we will be underway. Anthony Garrett discussing some things. I look across the far side, Corey, I see head coach for LaFlore, Renato Jackson, talking to one of the officials. Maybe that may be the holdup, possibly.
And I do see the scoreboard is up and ready to go.
It is.
No problem there.
And we were just told there's some clock issues going on.
I figured that when you do see the scoreboard still lit up and our scorekeeper right next to us, sometimes you may have to keep the clock on the field. You don't like to do that because you like for everyone in the stands and on the field to know exactly how much time is remaining.
Now the officials are talking to Coach Yelding, and they may have to do that. They're now signaling the Red Raiders to come to the sidelines. And we've had this happen before, Corey. It's just, a little tough for us.
Yeah, you saw it yesterday here in the middle school championship game, to where there is no play clock.
There's no play clock.
Was available. Right. The game clock we could see, but as far as being able to snap the ball within the allotted 25-second time or within the allotted 40-second time frame, that's something that you have to be aware with. And our white hat, Anthony Garrett, will have to do a tremendous job of communicating, look, 10 seconds left, 5 seconds left, letting them know, because you see so many teams when it's a close game want to bleed that clock down to the end. But it does make it tough for those who are sitting in the stands wanting to know how much time is left or whether there's a delay of game. You just have to really dial in and look at the white hat tonight.
So we shall see, as Anthony Garrett, and I can look a couple of booths down, and there a couple of the timekeepers and referees are communicating with our white hat down on the field. But that seems to be what the case is going to be. We're about to find out. I think we're close to kickoff right here. Al Wheaton, Corey LeBounty, Kimberly Dunn on the sidelines, as we're about to give you this action for a big 5A Region 1 matchup. A lot at stake tonight for the Red Raiders. As we talked about it in our open, they're in the middle of a log jam in 5A Region 1, sitting with a 3-2 region record. and looking to pick up another win. All right, the PA announcer has informed the crowd some technical difficulties. I think we're about to get underway with our kickoff.
And the biggest thing is with the kickoff, make sure you do keep it in bounds. Don't let the penalty flag come out early for the LaFlore Rattlers.
LaFlore kicks it, and Corey, just as you talked about it, not saying that you jinxed him, it does go out of bounds and sails out of bounds.
Yeah, that's one of the things that when you and I get here to the games earlier, we watch warm-ups.
Sure do.
That's one of the things that I like to keep an eye on.
So it looks like Coach Yelding is going to just take the 5 yards, and I don't believe we're going to have a re-kick. Take a look at this BC Rain offense. Quarterback Amari Yelding is a 63% passer, and he can run it as well. But the Red Raiders offense goes through the human bowling ball. Running back Bryce Dowling, he has over 700 yards on the year. He's a bruising runner, and his speed to back it up. Wide receiver Dylan Robinson has moved over from the defense, and he'll be a main target of Yelding. Up front, the Red Raiders are big, averaging 278 pounds, led by junior center Clintarius Bradley. He's checking in at a whopping 325 pounds. First to 10 for the Red Raiders from their own 35-yard line. Man in motion. Yelding trying to go early over the top. Intended for Robinson, out of bounds, is incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
And you look at Bryce Dowling in motion, and he goes down. That ball is going to be incomplete on the far sidelines, and what you want to do is just have it a couple of inches back in bounds to give the offensive wide receiver an opportunity to catch that football. But you mentioned Bryce Dowling. We call him the human bowling ball, the 5'8", 195-pound senior now. Does have 18 receptions for 284 yards on the season.
Dowling goes back into the backfield to flank with Yelding, and we have our first penalty flag of the ball game.
False start. Offense. Repeat 2nd down.
So that's going to push the Red Raiders back 5 yards. Anthony Garrett, our white hat tonight, backed up by Christopher Benton, Michael Rogers, Terrell Peoples, Charles Connolly, Hubert Campbell, and Aaron Tillman, our officiating crew tonight. 1st and 15 coming up here from the Red Raiders. I'm sorry, 2nd and 15. They hand off to Dowling as the guards pull. Dowling turns the corner past the 30. Picks up 1 or 2 as he is forced out of bounds. 3rd down coming up here for the Red Raiders.
He's definitely not going to step out of bounds. Demetrius Toney, the 5'11", 85-pound sophomore outside linebacker, with the stop for defensive coordinator T.J. McCord. The Rattlers in this 3-4 defense now, down in distance-wise, 3rd and 13. You don't want to give up a 1st down on 3rd and long. You look at this great run, trying to bounce to the outside, and Bryce embraces the contact.
Right.
He's not going to step out of bounds. He loves to hit and be hit.
They toss it out to Dowling. Swing it out to him. He picks up a couple, not enough for the 1st down. Gets close to the 39-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down for the Red Raiders.
The ball is going to be spotted right at the Red Raider 39-yard line. A great swing pass coming out of the backfield to Bryce Dowling. You can see how active he's been. Amari Yelding threw to him on 1st down, incomplete, and then you see him on a run as well as a receiving opportunity for the Red Raiders. And now the Rattlers stepping up and striking on defense early. A great stop for defensive coordinator T.J. McCord's Rattlers.
Tyree Sutton on to punt. Back to receive, Savario Singleton and Jalen Scott. Sutton puts his foot into it. High bounding, almost muffed by the Rattlers, but they do take hold of it at the 33-yard line. The Rattlers offense is run-oriented with quarterback D'Antonio LaFlore not throwing very many passes. He'll hand it off to running back Savario Singleton to run the rock. Singleton averages 6.8 yards per rush. When the Rattlers do pass, look for freshman wide receiver Jalen Scott to catch him. He leads the Rattlers in receiving. Up front, the offensive line is an experienced bunch. Checking in averaging 246 pounds across that offensive line. So 1st and 10 for LaFlore from the 33-yard line. Pass incomplete. LeSure's pass intended for DeJuan LeSure, incomplete, so it's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, you try to swing that pass out. Sometimes the simplest pass is the hardest one to make, and now it puts LaFlore in a 2nd down and 10 yards to go position. Offensive coordinator Ryan Powell calling the signals for this LaFlore offense, averaging 10.6 points per game.
Double stack receivers for the Rattlers. Swinging out, pass intercepted by BC Rain near the 47-yard line. And the Red Raiders have our first turnover of the ball game.
Great job of dropping back in coverage by Jalen Davis. The 5'11", 170-pound defensive back just reads the eyes of the quarterback and is able to pick that pass off. Great job of falling back and disguising the coverage, and just like that, you do see the first turnover on the game, and it's just like the Red Raiders kept that offense on the field. Now they'll have a chance on their 2nd series to correct the wrong.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line of LaFlore. The Red Raiders right in front of us here atop the press box at Ben Glover Stadium. Yeldon just going to toss it out to Bryce Dowling. He's making moves, juking, and he's got enough for the 1st down as he gets up to about the 31-yard line.
You look at the patience by Amari Yeldon. He did look down the field and saw, hey, look, nothing was there. I'm just going to go with my check down, which is Dowling, and that's a great check down wide receiver to have. I mentioned that's his 19th reception now, right at 300 yards receiving. He has 3 touchdowns receiving, but 1st and 10 now, fresh set of downs for the Red Raiders.
Hand off to Dowling right up the middle, and he is met at the line of scrimmage by a wall of Rattlers, and they shut that down. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Jeremiah Connolly, 6 foot, 205-pound sophomore defensive end, is one of the leaders of this defense, and he again has that star on the back of his helmet signifying he was a Crichton Optimist Club Player of the Week. And when you're the Player of the Week in Mobile County, that means that you've done something stupendous for your team, and you see the ability of this young player for the Rattlers.
High snap. That's going to throw off the timing, and the Rattlers sack Yeldon for a loss. That high snap threw it off. You can see Amarion Davis coming into motion. Looked like they were trying to go for a jet sweep, Corey.
Clintarius Bradley, 6'3", 325-pound junior center with the high snap, and Yeldon did a good job of just trying to recover, but shooting the gap from his outside linebacker position was DeAntonio LeSure, and he is the Rattler quarterback as well. But you do look now, so far through 2 series for offensive coordinator Famous Davis, they averaged 30.4 points per game, but have not been able to get it in gear yet.
7-yard loss on that sack. 3rd and 17 coming up for the Red Raiders. Pressure on Yeldon as he escapes, gets the pass out. It's going to be short of the 1st down by about 4 yards. Gets that pass complete to Antonio Williams. And this looks like one of those we're going to go for it situations coming up for BC Rain.
Yeah, you're in the plus side territory. Antonio Williams, the 6'2", 195-pound junior with his 26th reception of the season, now has close to 560 yards receiving, and you're at a 4th and 4 yards to go. If you're the Rattlers, you want to make sure you strike here defensively. If you're the Red Raiders, you continue to want to keep this LaFlore defense on the field here.
Ball on the 25-yard line. They need to get to the 21 to get a 1st down. Another high snap. Dowling rescues the ball, but he cannot be rescued. It'll be ball over on downs as he is tackled near the 28.
Yeah, that's something that we did not see a couple of weeks ago from the center in that quarterback-center exchange problems. And LaFlore's defense is able to hold, but the Red Raiders were able to hold on to the football and not fumble it. And coming from the backside, making a nice tackle for LaFlore, finishing that up. Turnover on downs, and LaFlore gets their second offensive opportunity now coming off of the interception.
1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line as the Rattlers come back out on the field. Trip receivers to the top. Handoff on the play. Running it up the middle for LaFlore, Severio Singleton. Take a look at this BC Reign defense. The Red Raiders play a 3-4 with Mike linebacker Khalil Perine leading the Red Raiders in tackles. Also, listen for us to call Will linebacker Ricky Nichols' name a bunch tonight. He'll be all over the field and providing help in the secondary. It's cornerback Jalen Davis already got a pick tonight. Up front, the Red Raiders have Special Agent Zero, the big fella, defensive tackle. Ashton Wright checks in at 6'4", 270. And the Red Raiders average 253 across that defensive line. Going deep, LeFlore airs it out. Pass is incomplete, trying to hook up with Singleton. It'll bring 3rd down. LaFlore taking a shot right here, 3rd and 7 coming up.
Great opportunity for that throw, just a little bit too far. You were able to go ahead and get past the defender to where if that ball would have been maybe 1 yard shorter, he's able to run under that and catch it in stride. But good call shot by offensive coordinator Ryan Powell, directing D'Antonio LeFlore to air it out to his big-time wide receiver there, Singleton, just not able to come away with it out.
3rd and 7 coming up here for the Rattlers. Same formation, trips to the top. They pitch it out to Singleton. He turns the corner. Gets near the 35-yard line. That won't be enough to pick up the 1st down. They're about 4 yards, maybe 3 yards shot.
Now, you definitely here in this territory, you're deep in your own territory. You haven't gotten out to that 40-yard line yet. You might as well go ahead and try to punt this one away because you don't want to risk giving BC Reign their 3rd offensive possession on the plus side of the field.
Right.
Take your chances here of punting this football away. Again, if you're able to put toe to leather for LeFlore, you'll be in great shape. You don't want to shank it right here, though, because we saw that kickoff go out of bounds. So we'll see if LeFlore is able to get a nice kickoff here for the Rattlers.
Have a stoppage in play right now.
Delay game on the offense. 4th down.
And there's the reason why I didn't see the flag on the field, Corey, but that's going to push LaFlore back 5 yards. So they'll be kicking this one now from the 31 rather than 36.
And now it's very important to have a great snap. We've seen BC Reign with the problems with the snap. LaFlore has to have a clean one also.
High snap over the head of LeFlore. He reels it in, and it is blocked. And that's going to be scored for a touchdown. The Red Raiders all on top of it. Block Ricky Nichols. I just talked about, we're going to be saying his name a lot tonight, Corey, as Ricky Nichols blocks it and recovers it cleanly for our 1st points of the night.
Again, I mentioned the high snap possibilities there. Worst case scenario for LaFlore, Ricky Nichols with a block punt, the recovery. 6 points for BC Reign. Great job. If you're not able to produce offensively, produce on special teams.
There you go.
And that's been a struggle for LaFlore, and it comes and they're bitten by their special teams, and Reign is on the board first.
Joel Hernandez, PAT is up and good. 7-0 is our score. Reign on top.
Do you feel alone, overwhelmed, or helpless?
There's hope, there's help. Call or text 988.
You don't have to face your crisis alone. If you need a safe space to talk with a trusted adult for support, reach out to your school counselor.
Do you need help to make it through everyday struggles?
Do you need someone to talk to?
Call or text 988. Your social emotional wellness is worth it.
Remember, there's hope, there's help.
Got to thank Firehouse Subs for being one of our sponsors of the game tonight. Enjoy more subs and save more lives with Firehouse Subs. Visit our friend Neil Patel at the Greenlight Firehouse Subs location. Also, we got to thank BSN Sports. If you need some team apparel, no matter what sport it is, check them out online at bsnsports.com. BSN Sports and Firehouse Subs proud sponsors of our MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Kick return taken by LeFlore. Jalen Scott's going to push it up to about the 34. Let's see what he spotted, 34, 33-yard line. Unbelievable, Corey. Special teams comes through for the Red Raiders, kind of bails them out basically with the offense, all those high snaps to yielding. But the irony, a high snap on the punt, and the Red Raiders capitalize.
You just see that in warm-ups, and you see that being one of the reasons that I mentioned that it has to be a clean snap. And now LaFlore looking to bounce back. You have the interception that was thrown by LaSure, and you also are looking at the blocked punt. So LaFlore just wants to try to keep their offense on the field here and to move the sticks.
1st and 10 for the Rattlers from their own 34. Hand off to Singleton. That one pretty much goes nowhere. Maybe a 1 or 2 yard loss. Brings up 2nd down for the Rattlers.
That's exactly what we've seen out of Agent Zero, Ashton Wright, the defensive tackle coming up and making a huge stop, and now a 1 yard loss on the play. 2nd and 11 for LaFlore right from their own 33-yard line. And this offensive line of Antonio Gibbs, Ryan Hill, Deshaun Foreman, Jalen Lewis, and Jakari Johnson just have to give D'Antonio LaSure just a little time to get it out to LaSure or Yates, the tight end.
Trips to the left. LaFlore passing a lot tonight, overthrown by LaSure, not coming out with the running game, trying to attack through the air. Another incompletion for LaSure, 3rd down and about 11.
Miguel Fleming's the intended wide receiver for LaFlore on that possession, but you really do put the pressure now at 3rd and 11 on LaFlore's offensive line to create some type of positive momentum, because you don't want to go 3 and out. And what you want to look here at possibly rolling out the pocket for D'Antonio LaSure, letting him survey the field, and if he has to tuck it and run it, go ahead and do so. Just valuing the football, cannot afford another turnover here.
LaSure rolls to his right, plants, throws into a crowd of folks. That could have been disaster once again. I saw a lot of gray jerseys around the receiver. Intended receiver was Jalen Scott. All I saw was gray, Corey.
Yeah, it was almost disastrous, but what can be disastrous once again is this same punting opportunity, because we see them being punting almost from the same exact position. So it cannot be a high snap for LaFlore. It has to be a clean exchange here on special teams.
Dylan Robinson at his 30-yard line, a low snap.
Blocked again.
Kicked, but blocked. And I believe the big fella, Special Agent Zero, was in on that action. The big guy, Ashton Wright from BC Reign. So they're going to get great field position here off of this block punt. Went right into the leg of Wright.
Just didn't have an opportunity to get it toe to leather cleanly, Al. When you're on the run trying to avoid being hit and sacked, if you're not able to get a clean one, it puts BC Reign's offense in great scoring opportunity. Not in the red zone area yet, but very close, having the ball right at the 23-yard line. Bryce Dowland right here running downhill is key.
That's what you expect, a clean snap right there. But the Rattlers are waiting for him 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage, tackle for loss. Good defense right there as the Rattlers fill the gaps.
Well, what you do see is, once again, D'Antonio LaSure coming from his linebacker, his outside linebacker position. We mentioned he is our thread fastener, impact player of the game, playing the entire game, punting, quarterback, linebacker, doing it all for LaFlore. And Anthony Garrett and his squad talking about a possible penalty flag here. I didn't see one drop.
I didn't see one either. I'm looking and scanning the field myself, Corey. I don't see a flag. But Garrett's going to go over here and talk to another official.
Going to go over and talk to Tony Peoples, who's on the far sidelines. And you just love to see great communication between officials. And if there is no penalty, you're going to still look. The ball is spotted.
Right now, about a 2 yard loss. They're standing at the 25-yard line. Ball was at the 23 for that first down. And the down marker still says first down. They haven't changed that yet either.
Illegal formation on the offense. First down.
So it'll be a do-over for the Red Raiders, just a 5-yard penalty.
Cost you 5 in that situation, but you can look for Amari Yeldon if he gets any pocket protection to go to Dylan Robinson or Antonio Williams with a lot of success catching the football here the last couple of weeks. But the human bowling ball, Bryce Dowdland, the 5'8", 195-pound senior, is a tremendously powerful and explosive downhill runner for the Red Raiders, and there's been high snaps to where Yeldon hasn't been able to hand it off to him cleanly.
Sure hasn't, Corey.
And
sure
if he's
has
able
not.
to hand it off to him cleanly and he has just a sliver of a hole, you'll see the speed and explosiveness of Bryce Dowdland.
They fake the handoff, looking to go to the left side. Pass incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 15 for the Red Raiders.
Intended for Antonio Williams, the 6'2", 195-pound senior. And, you know, while we're talking about the quarterback, Amari Yeldon, this young man has a 4.6 GPA and has a 27 on the ACT. And when you're a coach's son, that's not only making you a proud papa, it's making you a proud father, but he's a tremendous leader and ambassador for this BC Rain Red Raider program. Number 4 in gray. Hats off to you, young fella.
Those are awesome numbers right there, Corey. 2nd and 15 for BC Rain. They give it to Dowdland. Once again, the Rattlers swarming. You can see D'Antonio LaFlore in on that tackle as well.
Great job of this LaFlore defense attacking the offensive line. And you look at this great tackle here by Montrell Scott for the LaFlore Rattlers, and it continues to put BC Rain in long down and distance situation. You're at 3rd and close to 27 yards to go after that penalty and tackle for loss. And the worst thing that can happen for LaFlore here is for them to commit a penalty that would give BC Rain an automatic first down. But we've seen them score a Hail Mary right before the half ended last week against UMS, and looks like there may be a timeout for the Red Raiders to
called by Lawrence Yeldon at 4:09. So let's check down to the sidelines. Kimberly Dunn is setting up to speak with someone very important. I see them framing up this young man. Corey, I think he may look a bit familiar to you. Kim, who do you have down there on the sidelines with you?
You said it. This is a very special guest we have here tonight who the stadium is named after, Mr. Ben Glover. Thank you so much for taking just a moment to talk with us. I know that it's an honor for you. You were saying that they have done so much for you. Can you talk a little bit about some of the ways that they've just made this so special?
Sort of rolled out the red carpet.
Yes, they did.
And been so nice to me and friendly.
Now, I know you were a coach here. You were a vice principal, a principal. Can you talk about all those years that you spent here at BC Rain and how much you invested?
Well, I have missed it. When I retired and went to work at Mobile College, it was tough. Whenever I would turn out and go north in my car and see those yellow school buses, the tears come in my eyes. But, I came out of my driveway and turned right for so many years. It was just second nature with me.
Yes, because you live so close to the school, so it just brings back all those memories. Yeah. So what does it mean to have this stadium named after you?
Well, it means a great deal. I'm very appreciative how they have thought enough to do that.
Well, and while we're talking, you must be good luck because they just got a touchdown.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, and the last thing I wanted to say, I know that you try to come to every home game and you wear red. Do you feel like that helps give your team a little extra support?
I don't know about that, but I try to wear red each week.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us. It's been an honor, and I hope that you continue to enjoy this beautiful stadium that was named after your name and your legacy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate that. Hernandez's extra point is no good, but after that 34-yard touchdown pass from Amari Yeldon to Bryce Dowdland, the lead is now 13-0. We'll take a break and be back with more.
to the mall, the Bel Air Mall. And I'm checking out Trey Pay's Cafe. Trey Pay's is so much fun. They got the fanciest snowballs on the planet. Plus a loaded quarter pounder beef fry. Trey Pay's Cafe. The nachos are slamming and the fries are banging. Don't forget desserts. Deep fried cheesecake bites, deep fried Oreos, and a whole lot more. It's the food that makes you feel good. Trey Pay's Cafe inside the Bel Air Mall. Come now and come hungry.
To find out the latest news on what's happening in Mobile County Public Schools, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Mobile County Public Schools, we are learning today, leading tomorrow. BC Rain leading right now 13-0. Corey, we'll have to get that replay up right there. I was trying to tell Kim that was a great get right there. That was a good look to have Ben Glover, and then he scored a touchdown while he was being interviewed.
Perfect timing there, and you look at the pass that was thrown by Amari Yeldon. Outstanding job, and I know after the kick we'll get a chance to bring up and look at that replay, but now LaFlore has the answer here with 3:57 remaining in the first quarter of play, trailing 13-0, and we'll see here if they're able to convert on special teams.
Singleton with the return, going right up the middle. Look at the speed of Singleton as he is tackled at the 29-yard line of BC Rain. Take a look at that replay, Corey.
And you'll see Yeldon keep his eyes down the field, decides to have great presence in the pocket, rolls to his left and finds the human bowling ball. Bryce Dowling with his 4th receiving touchdown of the season. Great job of Amari trusting him to come to the football and throwing it right in a correct spot. 4 plays, 23 yards for the Red Raiders, and absolutely love the fact that Bryce Dowling was able to show the soft hands and the versatility that he has as a receiver and a running back. And the Rattlers in prime field position here now. Singleton shows his speed. We'll see if momentum here will go with the Rattlers. First time crossing midfield.
1st and 10 from the Red Raiders 29-yard line. Singleton falls forward for about 3 or 4 after that big kick return he just had. The deepest LaFlore has penetrated tonight. Actually, their first time past the midfield stripe, Corey.
Yeah, that's huge when you look at almost a full quarter of play before they cross midfield. Jordan Vines with the stop, the 5'11", 175-pound defensive back, trips up Singleton before he can get any further, and that's his 34th tackle of the season. And you look at the positive yardage there, just 1 yard moving forward, so that was a great tackle by Vines.
2nd and 8 from the 18-yard line, I'm sorry, the 28-yard line. Back to Singleton once again as he is hit in the hole, losing his helmet. Ashton, not Ashton Wright on that one.
Yeah, you do have a new quarterback for the Rattlers. It is Josh Scott who's in the game and trying to give a little breather to D'Antonio LaSure, but some licks being laid out there. Aaron Moore gets hit at the right time, and on top of that, you're going to have a flag on the play also.
Against LaFlore, so that's going to push them back 15 yards. With Scott coming into the ball game, that's going to allow LaSure to kind of play wide receiver. He does a lot for them, various positions.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike. Number 5. 2nd down.
So it's going to be 2nd and long from LaFlore as the ball is pushed up to the 43-yard line.
Now, when you are looking at negative yardage or negative plays for the Rattlers, something they can't afford, especially when they got right here into Red Raider territory. Don't want to throw an interception here either, even though if you do, it'll be the equivalent of a punt.
Ray Flush Scott out of the pocket, and he is nailed right near the 38-yard line. He took a hit, Corey.
It was a sandwich by Khalil Pirine, number 8, on top of Ricky Nichols. You look at the 2 linebackers, one at Will, one at Mike. They absolutely sandwiched Josh Scott as he's rolling right to LaFlore's sidelines. You look at him right in the middle of that ice cream sandwich on the far sidelines.
Brings up 4th down for the Rattlers. I thought it was 3rd down. The down marker says 4th down. They had that unsportsmanlike penalty. but they are going for it here. Scott rolling back, pressure on him, overthrows his receiver, almost picked off by BC Rain. Back there in coverage, Trent Reese, and it is ball over on downs.
You look at the pressure,
kind of got away, just a little high there, Cordette, but it was ball over on downs, even if he had intercepted it.
Teron McCovery, 5'9", 250-pound junior defensive end with the pressure there on Josh Scott, and once again, we'll see if this Red Raider offense is able to find a way to convert down the field. Now, they do have this 13-0 lead with 1:53 remaining in the first quarter of action. It'll be backbreaking if they're able to score here early.
High snap once again as they catch the receiver in the flat across the middle. Dylan Robinson picks it up just past the midfield stripe into LaFlore territory once again, move the Red Raiders.
Great patience, great timing to Dylan Robinson, and you're starting to see this defense soften up now.
They hand that one off to Bryce Dowland. He picks up one. Gets it down to the 48-yard line as we approach 1 minute 30 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. BC Rain on top 13-0 over LaFlore.
Micah Thomas with the stop for the LaFlore Rattlers, and BC Rain's going tempo now. And I think that when you do look at the depth here with 1:10 remaining in the first quarter of action, LaFlore just wants to find a way to hold on and does call a timeout to gain their composure.
Timeout call by the Rattlers. Both teams have used one timeout, so we'll use one right here. Take a break and be right back.
A teacher is one of the biggest investors in a community.
They impact the lives of those we value the most.
Teachers share knowledge which helps shape and mold our future leaders.
Teachers show direction and help build a sense of purpose.
Are you ready to make a change? For more information on teaching opportunities, teacher incentives, or to apply with the Mobile County Public Schools, log on to www.mcpss.com.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Corey, you were just talking about depth. Both of these teams are dressing out close to the same amount of players. LaFlore dressing out 53, BC Rain dressing out 56, but we noticed there are more LaFlore players playing two-way tonight than BC Rain has.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have your quarterback and your linebacker and your punter be on the field, you have to find a way to again rest him, and that's why we saw Josh Scott come in, but the Red Raiders are going to go for the jugular here before we end the first quarter of action.
Second down at about 8 for BC Rain. Yielding looking to pass. Gets that ball out and completes it. Knocked out of bounds with the reception for BC Rain. Jamarcus Coach from his H-back position. Corey, I'm scanning. I don't see LeFlore on the field right now for the Rattlers.
No,
so
I mean, you definitely have to give him a breather, because I mean, he has been out there in every position, and now you do have an opportunity here for BC Rain to have a 1st and 10, fresh set of downs, trying to score before the end of the quarter, but not before we have another penalty.
Another penalty on the play there, thrown just near the BC Rain.
On the offense, first down.
Sideline, Anthony Garrett motions false start against the Red Raiders, so that'll push him back 5, take him back to about the 43, maybe 44-yard line.
And that's one of those that you have to clean up if you're BC Rain moving forward. You just want to minimize the number of penalties, but with this trips formation, we've seen success the last couple of weeks of Yielding being able to hit his receivers accurately.
1st and 15 from the 43 of LaFlore. They set up the bubble screen for Dylan Robinson. Gets a few of those yards back. It'll bring up second down and about 9 here for the Red Raiders.
Well, that's what you have to have, is positive yardage. And if you're able to have positive yardage on first down, especially coming off of a penalty, now 2nd and 9 for the Red Raiders from the Rattlers' 37-yard line. Again, Bryce Dowland coming off that reception for a touchdown. Tremendous downhill runner.
There's the jet sweep to Marion Davis. Look who's blocking for him. The human bowling ball, Bryce Dowland, laying the lumber on the Rattlers as they push it inside the red zone.
You're exactly right, Al. We go back, and if we're able to look at this replay, number 3 out in front, blocking for his teammate. And when you're able to get number 3 trying to block downfield and trying to punish number 26 on the sidelines, that's exactly what you want to see if you're offensive coordinator Famous Davis. And that's how you stay on a collegiate field too. You block down the field, you pass protect. You not only want to be selfless when you don't have the football, you want to help your teammates get theirs as well.
1st and 10, ball at the 20. They fake the jet sweep. Yeldon's going to keep it around the left side outside the numbers. Amari Yeldon approaching the end zone as he's pushed out of bounds near the 3 or 4.
Goal-to-go situation for the Red Raiders, and here within the last few weeks we've seen this be prime Bryce Dowdland time. Either that or a nice quarterback keeper from the shotgun position of Amari Yeldon. So we'll see if offensive coordinator, just depends on what number he wants to dial up, and Dowdland is going to be the Wildcat.
High snap way over Dowland's head. He picks it up. They're trying to chase him down, cuts the corner. And as we said earlier, D'Antonio LaFlore out of the ball game, but he comes in right there, and he's going to be flagged for that particular tackle. I don't know if it's a horse collar or it'll be a face mask, but it's the 15.
That's a straight bird cage.
Half distance to the goal,
ripping it off. And you look at Bryce, he is nowhere near as tall as Amari, but great job of fielding it, finding a way to catch it on the hop, and then try to run through. As soon as his neck is turned, that could do serious damage to someone's neck. And you just look at him being able to keep his cool and composure afterwards. Kudos to him, but that's going to be definitely a 1st and goal-to-go situation now. And, you know, if I'm the offensive coordinator, which I'm not, I go ahead and reward him. If you're going to get your bird cage and your neck almost snatched off, go ahead and let me score this touchdown too, Coach.
1st and goal coming up here for the Red Raiders. They go right back to Dowland. He goes right up the middle, stretches out as he is tackled near the 3-yard line, and the horn goes off. That's going to wrap up the 1st quarter as BC Rain knocking on the door, trying to keep the shutout going, up 13 points right now.
Hey Alexa, tell me about Mobile County Public Schools.
With 53,000 students in 90 schools, Mobile County Public Schools equips and empowers college and career-ready graduates. Several MCPSS schools are ranked among Alabama's top 10. Yearly, graduating students earned about $110 million in college scholarships and 10,000 career credentials. MCPSS is learning today, leading tomorrow. Does that answer your question?
At Mobile County Public Schools, we believe it starts with us. That's why we offer Signature Academies.
Hello, I'm Jordan Clark, and I'm in the Health Service Academy at John L. LeFlore Magnet High School. My future career is to be an obstetrician gynecologist. With this academy, I'm learning firsthand from people already working in the industry. Shadowing them on the job really makes me want to study hard and work harder towards my career goals.
Signature Academies are open to all students in Mobile County Public High Schools. Visit MCPSS.com.
Join Homeroom with Renee Phillips and find out the latest homework tips and what's happening inside the schools and classrooms. It's Homeroom with Renee Phillips right here on the MCPSS TV network. You're right here with Al Wheaton, Corley Bounty, statistician China Powell. And on the field, we have Kimberly Dunn. Take a look at the first quarter stats, Corey. And look at the passing of BC Rain, 81 yards. LaFlore has attempted a few passes, but right now, no yards in any of those passes. Just 12 total yards of offense for the Rattlers.
Well, that's resulting when you do have that early interception, and BC Rain in the red zone area about to add to their second quarter stats. It's just imperative that this LaFlore offense put some type of great drive together, back-to-back first downs to keep this defense off the field, because you have guys that are playing both ways and makes it tough. But Bryce Dowdland, number 3 in gray, he's just as tough as they get. Again, you saw his neck almost, the exorcism almost being turned all the way around after that face mask, and now he's going to be running very angry at the LaFlore Rattlers. And he'll try to get a rushing touchdown added to the receiving touchdown.
I'm looking for Ricky Nichols to come in because the deuces are wild. It was 2nd and 2, ball on the 2, second quarter, and the first play is a 2-yard score by Bryce Dowling.
No doubt about it. You go to the human bowling ball. He deserves to touch that. He deserves to get that touchdown and deserves to pick up another one. It's his 15th rushing touchdown of the season. Great execution by the front offensive line. Fortunato, Coates, Bradley, Hawthorne, and Hale making and creating that hole for Bryce Dowling. And now at 11:56 remaining in the second quarter, the Red Raiders trying to go on top 20-0.
Joel Hernandez on for the extra point, boots it up, and it is good. Our score with BC Rain all on top, 20-0 over LeFlore.
It's your time, it's your season, and you are made for more. More confidence, more style, and more bling. The Genuine Bling is here to deliver you more bling and more fashion. With new styles added daily, you can shop anytime and look fabulous. Join me, Charmaine Watson, on the $5 Frenzy every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. It's cute, it's fabulous, it's fashionable, it's $5, it's paparazzi.
Make sure you head over to Firehouse Subs where you enjoy more subs and save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So visit our friend Neil Patel at the Greenlight Road Firehouse Subs location. Also, we got to thank BSN Sports. If you need some team apparel, whether it's baseball or volleyball, all sports in between. BSN Sports, the heart of the game. Check them out online at bsnsports.com. Got to thank them for being a part of the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Corey, I was just hoping Ricky Nichols would get in because the deuces were wild, man. It was 2nd and 2 from the 2, and it was second quarter.
You got to reward Dowling and let him get his. The deuces were wild because Dowling got his second touchdown.
That's true.
They still stayed wild.
I'll give you that one, Corey. That is his second touchdown of the night. 2-yard run by Bryce Dowling. They used 2 minutes. But his first one was real nice. He was near the 2-yard line when he caught the ball and just kind of stepped in to score his first touchdown. So I'll give you that one, Corey.
They stayed wild.
Second touchdown there. Hernandez boots this one. Jalen Scott with the return. Outside the numbers near the LaFlore sideline, past the midfield stripe. Good return right there by Jalen Scott for the Rattlers.
And that's the second time tonight we've seen LaFlore get great special teams field position. This time you see the explosiveness and the speed of Mr. Jalen Scott as he's able to turn it up on the far sidelines. And earlier we were able to see Singleton with the speed. So now it's a situation to where LaFlore has outstanding field position with the flag being on the far sidelines of LaFlore, right in the area of blocking the back or holding there on the far sidelines.
Well, dead ball. Unsportsmanlike. Number 10 on the white team.
So that's going to cost the Rattlers 15 off of that nice return by Scott.
See if we can go back and see that. Not sure if he had some words for someone after the play or not, but again, it negates a great return by the LaFlore Rattlers, and that is over there on the far sidelines to where when that penalty flag is dropped, yes, it is dropped on the far sidelines.
Was using some vocabulary words, Corey, I believe,
and
probably.
Right in front of the FAR official, Tony Peebles, and he was able to pull out the yellow hanky. Now, instead of taking over on the Red Raiders side of the field, the Rattlers still in their own territory, and you see Mr. Scott back at quarterback for the Rattlers.
Good field position, ball at the 44 as LaFlore tosses it out to DeJuan Reed. He picks up a couple. It'll be second down coming up here for the Rattlers. They average 10.6 points on offense and giving up 28.9 on defense, and almost there as Red Raiders have put up 20 points so far tonight.
Well, what has to happen is LaFlore has to have some positive yardage on first down. You like to see 2 and 3 yards to where when you do that math, it comes out to 4th and 1. If it comes down to it now, 2nd and 9, the Rattlers have to find a way to get Singleton involved or get Scott involved with the speed, because Scott, when he drops back, or roll the pocket out to where the receivers can come back to the football, and we're going to have a timeout, LaFlore.
Bernardo Jackson uses another timeout here with exactly 11 minutes left in the first half. We'll take a break.
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
For executive producer Quentin Howard, director Wade Ford, engineer Fran Conway, I'm Al Whedon, thanking you for joining in to this MCPSS high school football game of the week. China Powell on the stats tonight. Corey Bounty here in the broadcast booth with me. Corey, BC Rain all in control so far in this ball game. 2 blocked punts and 1 return for a touchdown. They've been on it early tonight against LaFlore.
Special teams play when you have 2 blocked punts. That's huge for BC Rain, and they're able to capitalize as well. And now looking at a 2nd down and 9, the Rattlers need to put back-to-back first downs together to give this defense a nice little rest.
Scott fakes the handoff and pretty much just gets sacked right there behind the line of scrimmage, like he got stuck in quicksand and couldn't move, Corey. Maybe they were wrapped up around those ankles.
McCovery, 5'9", 250-pound junior defensive end, steps in and is able to get that sack for the Red Raiders. And now you're at 3rd and 11, and that's not where you want to be if you're offensive coordinator Ryan Powell. When you look at your play calling sheet, you don't want to operate in your own territory at 3rd and 11.
Right.
You don't mind being on the flip side of the field at 3rd and 11, but you make it so much harder. And the great pressure of this front 4 of BC Rain makes it tough.
They just get the play off with 2 seconds remaining on the play clock. Over the middle, they go to D'Antonio LaShore. A bit too tall for him, and Scott put it up too high. That brings 4th down up for the Rattlers.
And what you've done here is you've taken LaShore away from the quarterback position, and you have allowed him to show some versatility at the wide receiver position. But BC Rain holds tight, and it's going to allow and force LaFlore to punt the football away. We've mentioned here you might as well go ahead and bring everything you can bring if you're BC Rain, because there's been a tremendous problem with the center to punter exchange on special teams.
Good snap right there, and ball is blocked, kind of tipped right off the foot of LaShore, and that's going to assure BC Rain some great field position here in LaFlore territory.
And this is probably the worst a special teams could play in the first half in regards to protection, because BC Rain should not be able to block 3 consecutive punts there for the Rattlers, and because of it, now once again you're putting them, it's not a roughing or a running into the kicker when you're able to block it and get your hands on it first, and that's exactly what they were able to do now. BC Rain trying to take over, and what it does, it puts the defense in a very peculiar and awkward position to where they have been on the field for entirely way too long. Now, it also allows Amari Yelding and offensive coordinator Famous Davis to take their shots here quickly.
Yeah, kind of open up the playbook here on the Rattlers, because this defense should be tired, Corey. They've been on the field a long time.
Press coverage at the top of the field, at the top of the screen there, but you still have Bryce Dowling that you can give it to as well.
They hand it off to Dowling. He cuts to the left, brings it outside the hash, outside the numbers, turns on the Jets as he gets into the red zone, knocked out near the 16-yard line.
Well, if it's not broke, you don't have to fix it. A high snap, that part definitely needs to be cleaned up by BC Rain, and Dowling, he doesn't take the clean handoff. He takes the high handoff and gets a lot of yards after contact. 1st and 10, Red Raiders.
Ball here on the near hash at the 16-yard line. Quick pass, they dump off from Yeldon to Dylan Robinson. He picked up a couple, maybe one or two, Corey.
DeJuan LeSure, great job of coming up from his corner position. Open field tackle, the 5'7", 155-pound senior with a tremendous open field tackle to save yards after catch for the Red Raiders. And now you are out at now 2nd and 10, no gain on the play. And here, if you're Amari Yeldon, you threw 5 touchdowns 1 week ago. You roll the pocket out and you keep your eyes up and you're able to trust the wide receivers to go get it.
Pressure on Yeldon, and he's going to be sacked for a loss. LaFlore's defense erupts right there on that 2nd down play to take Yeldon down.
Demetrius Toney, the outside linebacker, 5'11", 185-pound sophomore. As Yeldon just tried to bide his time, Toney shows his strength in wrestling the quarterback down to the ground. A great stop by this Rattlers defense as they needed a stop as the Red Raiders were continuing to roll. Now you're at close to 3rd and close to 30 yards to go.
Ball pressed back to the 27-yard line.
And Al, they have 27 yards to go. They have to get to the 10-yard line for a 1st down.
I believe possibly the 9, Corey. We'll see. Right now, with the reception for BC Rain, Julius Rogers, that's not enough to get the 1st down. He's not even back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 4th down coming up here for the Red Raiders. And they're probably just outside the range of Joel Hernandez, so I'm thinking they're going to go for this one.
I would go. I wouldn't take an opportunity for it to be blocked. We've seen too many blocks on special teams tonight. So go ahead and throw this one to the sticks and know that if you're a wide receiver, every route you run has to be to at least the 10-yard line. And Amari Yeldon knows that because he's got one well of a head on him in regards to his thinking ability and his processing this defense.
Flag on the play.
On the offense.
False start. That's going to push the Red Raiders back 5 more yards. So they'll spot this one at the 26-yard line. 4th down coming up here for BC Rain.
Well, once again, Al, anything that they run as far as a go route, it has to be all the way to the 10-yard line. And you want to make sure that Yeldon, if you do throw the interception of the jump ball, you trust your wide receiver to go up there and get it.
Pressure on Yeldon. And they're just going to sack him right there at the 40-yard line. Ball over on down. So you thought a series that would have produced some points produces nothing for the Red Raiders. It'll just be a turnover on downs. Coming up at halftime, we'll have the Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge with Kimberly Dunn. See if she can try to get another winner with her Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge. And there goes the cow. So stick around for halftime. Plus, of course, we'll show the bands. Got to keep the grandmamas and the granddads happy, Corey. Show them babies on TV at halftime.
Absolutely. What a huge stop, though, for LaFlore.
Yeah, that was big.
Even though they're trailing 20-0 here with 7:36 remaining, the defense was bending but did not break. And credit to the defensive coordinator, T.J. McCord, for encouraging his defense to continue to get at the Red Raiders and bringing the house there. Now the offense, Joel Scott has to find a way to confine and get back-to-back 1st downs for LaFlore.
Hand off to Singleton. He's trying to do his best juke move or best Walter Payton impersonation, but it goes nowhere as he is tackled for maybe about a 1-yard gain.
And that's going to be 0 Ashton Scott on the stop for the Red Raiders. And I know that when you do look at this defense led by the defensive coordinator, Sean Burney. Sean Burney, 3 years ago, was the head football coach at LaFlore. This is his 2nd year as the defensive coordinator for the Red Raiders. So I know that trying to get some type of shutout will be key to him and what he wants to accomplish as his family, Linda and Leela, looking on.
1-yard gain by Singleton. 2nd and 9, and we have whistles on the field.
Well, we did ball. Delay game on the offense. 2nd down.
That'll push the Rattlers back 5 yards, Corey. So you take 1 yard forward and 5 yards back.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for LaFlore to where any positive momentum that you get, you back it right back up, and it will be at the 36-yard line now, creating a second down and close to 14 yards to go. And you look at Joel Scott coming into this contest knowing what he needs to do offensively. Don't turn the football over here if you're LaFlore. Go ahead and value it, and there's going to be another penalty flag or timeout.
I believe Renato Jackson burns his last timeout here in the first half. Didn't like what he saw. 6:32 remaining here in the second quarter. And Corey, pretty much as we talked about, reigning control. That was a big stop by the LaFlore defense right there to get the ball, but they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot right here. It's 2nd and 10. And you don't want to really kind of get in a situation like that. Let's take a look at the remaining schedule for both of these teams. Put up BC Reign first. They're the home team. And take a look at what they have remaining on their schedule. They are going to host Alberta next week, and then they're going to wrap up the regular season at Gulf Shores. So, so far in this season, 5-2 overall with a 3-2 region record. But both of those games are region games, Corey. Huge for BC Reign to handle their business.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing tonight with you leading 20-0, you want to get out of here healthy for these last 2 region games, because if you're able to stay healthy going into the playoffs, you don't see a bye on BC Reign's schedule to where they have a chance to rest up. They're going to go straight into the playoffs, depending on what their seeding is, and you want to do 100% healthy as LaFlore now comes out of the huddle in this timeout, 2nd and 14 yards to go from their own 36-yard line.
D'Antonio LaSure returns back to the quarterback position. They hand off to Singleton. Comes to the near side. Boy, he's got some speed on him. The little fella can really run. Nice game by Singleton. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short here for the Rattlers.
Caleb Phillips comes up and makes the stop for the Red Raiders. And anytime you get to that second level, you're doing something productive. And that's the longest rush that we've seen of the night for the Rattlers. But it does bring up 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Now, you cannot have a penalty right here. You need to go ahead and establish this 1st down to keep this Red Raider defense on the field.
12-yard pickup by Singleton on that carry. They go back to him. No, D'Antonio LaSure is going to keep it himself. And he is flushed to the outside. No gain on the play. So he decided to take that pigskin out the belly of Singleton and keep it himself, having some audio difficulties there. There we are, we're back. So it's going to bring up 4th down here for the Rattlers.
Trenton Reese, the 5'7", 160-pound junior from his bandit linebacker position, makes the stop for the Red Raiders, and he had help on the way, and it's going to bring up 4th down now. LaFlore decides to go ahead and go for it. I really don't blame them here because your defense stepped up to the plate, and BC Reign's kind of on their heels trying to get their signaling correct.
And now Josh Scott in at quarterback. Pass is complete to Reed. Not Reed, that's DeJuan LaSure. So that should be enough for the 1st down.
Great job of LaFlore on 4th down converting. And if I'm BC Reign, you probably seen the confusion there on defense. Would have burned a timeout to make sure LaFlore didn't convert. But great job of LaFlore seeing that BC Reign was on its heels and attacking there, and an outstanding catch for LaFlore, getting a huge 1st down. And now, if I'm not mistaken, that may be only their 2nd 1st down
I believe you're
of the night.
Possibly right, Corey. We haven't said that too much tonight, and both of them on this series, as a matter of fact. Hand off to Singleton. He's going to be stopped for no gain on the play. Probably took a loss of 1, so 2nd down and 11 coming up here for the Rattlers.
If you're at 2nd and 11, Ashton Wright is the reason that you're at 2nd and 11. The 6'4", 270-pound senior, verbally committed to Louisiana Lafayette, does a great job of making sure LaFlore gets no positive yardage there in the trenches. And that's a tremendous battle to keep an eye on, this offensive line versus this 3-4 defense of Sean Burney.
Pass thrown out, incomplete. Rattlers cannot complete that pass intended for receiver. So it's going to bring up 3rd down for the LaFlore Rattlers.
Great job of Teron McCovery using that rip move to go ahead and get upfield and split the 2 offensive linemen to create that pressure on Josh Scott. And you look at him coming from that right defensive end position, pushing his way upfield. You're not able to get that clean pocket. And now LaFlore facing a 3rd and 11.
Trip receivers to the near side here.
We have a dead ball. False start on the offense. 3rd down.
5 yards against LaFlore. Once again, a false start. That's the 2nd call in this series since they've had the ball.
Yeah, you walk this situation up, just a little flinch up front by the offensive line creates a little bit harder, and now the offensive line has to make up for that and give Josh Scott some time to throw the football.
3rd and about 15 coming up here for the Rattlers. They're going to hand it off to Singleton. And just as he was trying to get the feet together to shuffle out the way, he's just wrapped up by the Red Raiders. Takes LaFlore to 4th down.
Aaron Moore and Ashton Wright tag teaming on that run for LaFlore. And we mentioned the 2 blocked punts by LaFlore, and Renardo Jackson has to decide whether he wants to put toe to leather or just go ahead and go for it, because you are in BC Rain territory and you've struggled to get the punts off cleanly, so why not go ahead and go for it here on 4th down?
I think they're going for it. Josh Scott back there at quarterback, trip receivers to the bottom of the screen once again. Pressure on Scott. We do have a flag. That one thrown by Anthony Garrett, our white hat, but the pressure on Scott is they just ate him up. Let's see what the call is going to be.
And we'll see there. It is a holding called against LaFlore.
Right.
And you saw the pressure. Sean Burney brought the house.
On the offense. Fields decline. So we have 1st down.
Let's see if we're able to look at this replay.
I was just about to ask if we can get that replay up. I mean, they brought the house.
How many defenders? 1, 2, 3.
Right there.
3 defenders in gray sitting there on top of the quarterback, not allowing him to get comfortable in the pocket at all. And this BC Rain Red Raider offense now with 2:59 remaining, Al, has plenty of opportunities to redeem itself from the last offensive possession. The Red Raiders still with 2 timeouts remaining as well.
They take over at the 41-yard line of LaFlore. Rattlers being shut out right now 20-0. BC Rain averages 30.4 points a game. They give up 20 points a game on defense. Yelding just going to keep it. Quarterback keeper goes up the middle, lowers the head, picks up a couple of yards. So to bring up 2nd down here for the Red Raiders. Nice game by Amari Yelding.
And you look at DeJuan LaSure coming up from his corner position, making the one-on-one tackle, but not before positive yardage gain. But one-on-one tackles are never easy for corners and smaller defensive backs. So outstanding open field tackle for LaSure.
4-yard pickup by Yelding on the run there. Empty set. Trip receivers to the top, got 2 at the bottom. Yelding goes over the top. Pass is complete. That's going to be a touchdown to Dylan Robinson. 37 yards on the pitch and catch.
Too easy. That's like 7-on-7 football right there. In the summertime is what you see, because Yelding had a clean pocket, had time to spin the football, get into rhythm, step up, and throw an absolute strike. And that's a look at this clean pocket. Look at him spin the football, throw it, steps into it, no pressure at all, gets behind the defense, and an outstanding catch by Dylan Robinson, his 6th receiving touchdown of the season, close to his 30th reception, and BC Rain strikes quickly against the LaFlore Rattlers.
Anthony Garrett has stopped play there for a second. I didn't see where a flag came out, but they're going to wave it off. So now we'll get Joel Hernandez on for the extra point here. Hernandez kick is up, and it is no good. BC Rain on top 26-0. We'll take a break and come back and kind of present you some possible playoff scenarios affecting teams in this region. We'll take a look at that just after this break.
There's a lot to like about Mobile County Public Schools.
What I enjoy about Mobile County School is the extra attention my teachers give us to help us learn.
Teachers are liking their access to technology, and students are liking the quality of their education.
I like the technology that's been incorporated into my education.
And since 1826, you have trusted us to prepare your child for their future, and we like that. Mobile County Public Schools. We are learning today, leading tomorrow.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. BC Rain on top 26-0. About to kick off to the Rattlers. We're going to put up a graphic, kind of give you an idea of what's kind of up for grabs right here in 5A Region 1 after this kickoff, to give you an idea of the importance of this game, more so for BC Rain than LaFlore. LaFlore has been eliminated from the playoffs, but you can kind of see what's at stake as we talked about it in the pregame. Nice shot of Hernandez right there, Corey.
Yeah, Mr. Hernandez, he's not that big of a fella.
He ain't bigger than the net, brother.
He does have a nice leg on him here for the Red Raiders.
Boots that one down, stays in bounds. Jalen Scott with the return. He's been returning them quite nice for the Rattlers tonight. All right, so we'll put it up to give you an idea of what we're talking about here in 5A Region 1. Gulf Shores, they're on a bye tonight. They're already in the playoffs. So look at Viger. They still have to play Alberta, who they're playing tonight in Gulf Shores. They do have a game against Sidney Lanier. These are all kind of the region games left. But look at Rain, Corey, LaFlore, Alberta, Gulf Shores. And check out Faith Academy, UMS Wright, and Citronelle. They all have 3 games left apiece. And they're kind of all playing each other if you look at the teams and the composition of this. So this is very important. That's why we're talking about this log jam between Rain, Faith Academy, UMS Wright, and Citronelle, all 3 and 2 in the region.
Want to control your own destiny. That's the best thing.
Right.
Control what you can control, which is what's at hand. And you want to go 1-0 every single week. So that way you know that you're putting yourself in the best playoff position available. And if you control the controllables, meaning you are the only team that can beat you.
That's right.
You don't beat yourselves. If you're BC Rain, you continue to move up that 5A region.
And that's what we meant by it's almost like the playoffs have started already for BC Rain, Citronelle, UMS Wright, Faith Academy. They're still duking it out to see who's going to get 3 and 4, and possibly 2 with Viger still in the mix there, with them playing Alberta and still having to face Gulf Shore. So I can't really say 2 has been determined, Corey.
No, I mean 2, 3, and 4 are really up for grabs
in
5A Region 1, and probably won't be determined until week 10.
Yeah, it's a 9-team region, yeah.
You do look at when the playoffs do begin, that second week in December, you'll see exactly what you have. But what you do have now is LaFlore at 2nd and 11, and you don't want to operate behind schedule, behind down in distance, and Joel Scott will have to step up here and see what he can do.
Hand off to Singleton. He runs into a wall of Red Raiders, but picks up a couple. He kept the legs going. Gained maybe 2 or 3 on the play. We'll see where they spot this ball at. And we'll have a timeout called by BC Rain. So that'll leave them with 1 timeout. Coach Yeldon saying, hey, this is going to bring up 3rd down. I want to get as much time as I can. LaFlore is going to receive the second half kickoff. We'll take a break and be right back.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm going to stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
We thank you for tuning in tonight to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. BC Rain and LaFlore. Last year, BC Rain defeated LaFlore 41-23. Right now in control, 26-0. Big play right here, 3rd and 10 Coach Yeldon used this timeout. If he feels he can stop him right here, he wants some time left on the clock because now it is 4th down, and he's going to use that last timeout, Corey.
Ricky Nichols coming up, our threaded fastener impact player of the game, shows his versatility at the linebacker position, comes up and makes that solo tackle. And Ricky Nichols is just one of those young men who have been around Coach Yeldon for the longest, and now he comes up with close to his 57th tackle of the season. He has 12 tackles for loss, and you do look at this timeout being called, and it is going to be a 4th down and right at 8 yards to go. LaFlore's had problems punting the football.
They have.
So if you're here, you might as well roll the dice, because if you're going beyond the sticks and you throw a jump ball to one of your wide receivers and it is intercepted, it's almost the equivalent of a punt.
That's right.
And I would rather you go ahead and put up a jump ball and let one of your wide receivers go up and get it than to have an opportunity for it to be blocked. Now, credit to LaFlore, the last time they did punt it, it was the cleanest center to punter exchange that we've seen of the night for the Rattlers.
Unfortunately, it still got tipped and blocked at the line. And, Corey, I just looked at the scoreboard. It says BC Rain still has 1 timeout. So maybe Coach Yeldon, that wasn't his last one. I thought it was the 3rd. But the scoreboard reflects 1 timeout, and LaFlore is lining up to punt. D'Antonio LaSure back there. And they're missing 1 player. They need 1 more to make 11.
They need that shield to protect if there is a bad snap.
Low kick right there by LaSure, taken by Dylan Robinson. Robinson up to the 45, didn't step out of bounds, and we have a flag after the play. One LaFlore Rattler down on the field right now as well, so we might have an injury timeout too, Corey.
Didn't see what the penalty was and exactly where it did come out, but you do wish the best for Jeremiah Connolly. He's going to be the Rattler who was injured. And you do look at the toe to leather, catching it on the bounce and trying to show the speed and explosiveness of Mr. Robinson, and we'll see exactly what the flag is. Right at midfield is where it's dropped.
And I can see Joel Hernandez on the sidelines working on his field goals.
The blindside block on the receiving team. 1st down.
So that'll push the Red Raiders back. Not what Coach Yeldon drew up, Corey.
Well, here's an opportunity here for you to work on your 2-minute offense and basically your 45-second offense, as 1 week ago, Amari Yeldon was able to throw the Hail Mary pass before the half and propel BC Rain to a lot of momentum going into the half. Can they make it 2 weeks in a row?
We shall see. That did happen against Centronel. 2 receivers to the top as Yeldon is flanked by Dowling. Has time, has plenty of time, steps up into the pocket. He was not past the line of scrimmage. Released the ball, so 2nd down. Coming up here for the Red Raiders, stops the clock at 42.3 seconds.
Now what you did see is a straight go route by Dylan Robinson at the top of your screen. Number 1 in gray was absolutely gone, and if Yeldon was able to step up and re-find him, Antonio Williams also has that blazing speed, one-on-one coverage at the top of your screen with Ashton Sneed. So you give Yeldon a clean pocket and he'll let it rip.
They fake the handoff to Dowling, pressure on Yeldon. He escapes outside the numbers. He's going to run out of bounds as the clock ticks just under 40 seconds. 3rd down coming up here for the Red Raiders, Corey. I think they were listening to you, possibly trying to set up another Hail Mary touchdown with like 2 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Well, what's more importantly here is if you are Amari Yeldon, you want to go ahead and get this 1st down. You can get it by looking down the field, and if LaFlore does not have anybody spying on him, he's able to run it himself and get out of bounds. Now, if you're LaFlore's defense, there's absolutely no reason that any offensive wide receiver should get behind you, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and take the knee and look at the 26-0 lead and be secure and happy with that going into the half.
And that does appear to be the case. We won't have to have another snap here with our score 26-0 with BC Rain on top and in control. Corey, special teams helped them out a lot in the first half tonight.
Yeah, you look at what they needed to do. LeFlore needed to create a rain drought, have not been able to do that. Move the sticks, have only had a couple of first downs, and they had to limit the yards after catching contact, and there's been a lot of that as well. And BC Rain had to rattle the Rattlers early. They definitely were able to shake that up, limit the penalties, and win the turnover battle and takeaway battle. They've been able to do that as well. So all keys to success. If you're Lawrence Yelding, what you're talking about here at halftime, I'm going to go again and get a sneak preview. Don't look at the scoreboard.
Right.
Go ahead and maintain and contain yourself.
Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn. She was head coach Lawrence Yelding.
Coach Yelding, how are you adapting to the strengths and weaknesses that you're seeing from the opposite team here tonight?
Just like I thought. They came out doing some stuff a little bit differently. They coming in hard off the edges, trying to penetrate, to disrupt things in the backfield. So, I mean, kind of threw a little wrinkle in what we were trying to do as far as getting the ball out quick, trying to take some deep shots. So, I mean, they made a good adjustment and with their plan. But I think towards the second or end of the first quarter, we start doing things to kind of spread them out a little bit, getting out of those condensed sets, make them cover grass, and we were able to make some things happen.
Yeah. What adjustments are you and your team going to talk about making going into the second half of the competition?
Just simple stuff like, being a complete football team. We call those timeouts to kind of put ourselves in a position to take one at the end of the half, and then we have a dumb block right there at the end that penalizes 15 yards. We had an opportunity to take a shot. We didn't really take it, and then we run out of bounds at the end when, we just want to make sure we clean up things and become, a complete team.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. I'll let you get with your team.
Thank you, Kimberly. We appreciate that. We're going to take it down to the field right now. It's halftime, Corey. Time to show off them babies. Here is the LaFlore Mighty Marching Rally Band.
Boys and green.
of the mighty marching Rattler Band. Right now it's time to get the sounds of the Chick-fil-A halftime trivia challenge. All right, Kimberly, I'm going to moo you in.
Challenge, and I have two really special guests here with me tonight. Can you tell me your names and where you go to school?
My name is Kamani Mixon. I go to Gilliard Elementary.
My name is Zoe Sanderson. I go to Gilliard Elementary School.
And who are y'all here cheering for tonight?
BC Rain,
the Red Raiders.
All right, I love it. Are you ready for our question? All right, if you get this question correctly, you will be the winners of our Chick-fil-A prize pack. This has lots of goodies from Chick-fil-A as well as Mobile County Public Schools. Do you think you're ready? All right, here's our question tonight. Which American president appears on the $1 bill? You've seen a $1 bill, right? Okay, is it Thomas Jefferson, Barack Obama, Benjamin Franklin, or George Washington? All right, y'all think about it for just a second. Which one of those is on the $1 bill? You ready to give your answer? All right. Who do you think it is?
George Washington.
Awesome. Way to go. Here you go. Here's your prize pack. Got it on the first try. Way to go, girls. Y'all look at everybody and say bye.
Great job there, Kimberly. Congratulations to those young ladies. Right now, time to take it back down on the field, and we're going to check out the marching Red Raiders of BC Rain High School.
We proudly present to you Sound and Spirit Band. The band will now play South Side. Please move the band into formation. Rattlers, I hope you brought your pen and paper. Take notes. Precision Rattlers of our radiant raindrop, Red Raiders. The band will now play the traditional feature by new edition entitled Can You Stand the Rain?
Spirit Band would like to acknowledge that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This tune is called You're Not Alone by the late Michael Jackson. And assistant Mr. Curtis McMillan, we present to you the Jazzy Classic, but never classic. Beautiful way to play love. Let's get it, Ray Ray.
Great halftime performances by both bands, Corey. As I said, we got to keep the grandmamas and the granddaddies happy. Show them babies at halftime.
Absolutely. The band works just as hard as these football teams do. And two great performing arts programs that we saw on display tonight.
And speaking of some hard work, the players put in some hard work in the first half. So let's take a look at the first half stats so far through the ball game, Corey. Just pure domination being done by the Red Raiders tonight.
And you look at the big chunk of the yardage from passing coming on, a couple of touchdown passes. But what you really look at, the rushing yards have to improve for BC Rain in the second half. No turnovers. They want to clean up the penalties. Both teams do, especially. But LaFlore has to be able to find a way to get more first downs and get back-to-back first downs in order to keep that defense off the field.
That's right, because we talked about possibly they picked up their first and second first downs in that second quarter. When you said it, and I had just been thinking to myself, I think that's the first time they picked up a first down tonight.
And that's tough. If you're LaFlore, you're talking about at halftime the adjustments that have to be made offensively. And when you look at, you can't get caught looking at the scoreboard if you're LaFlore.
That's right.
You want to say it's 0-0, second half team having an opportunity to find some and manufacture some type of offense. And you've had a couple of quarterbacks to come in, and you've been able to have successful plays, but for every successful play, it just takes one that puts you behind the sticks and kills all your momentum. Drive killers is what we call them. And if you're BC Rain, you definitely don't want to get caught looking at the scoreboard.
All right, let's review your checklist, Corey, because we want to take a look and see if the teams are doing what they need to do, like you projected.
Yeah, for BC Rain, you said they had to rattle the Rattlers early, and they've been able to do that, jumping on LaFlore 13-0 and limit the penalties. We just saw the penalty yardage that has been assessed by BC Rain, and winning the turnover takeaway battle where they've had a couple of block punts on special teams. 6 of those 26 points came off of a block punt that was recovered in the end zone for the Red Raiders. So they've been doing a good job of winning the turnover battle. And for LaFlore, they had to create that rain drought. They've done a great job of securing and stopping the run. The Red Raiders have not been able to gash them running the football. They just kind of methodically moving down the football field there and moving the sticks. That's important, meaning they have back-to-back first downs and creating a way to give their defense some more rest and limiting the yards after catch and contact. And the yards after contact were evident there on a couple of runs in the second quarter, but the longer the defense stays on the field, the harder it becomes and the more tired you get, because we are looking here at it still being 70 degrees here as we're about to start the second half of action. And we saw yesterday cramps come into effect, so we'll see conditioning here for LaFlore in the second half to see if that plays a factor.
All right, we'll take a break and come back and bring you the second half here for the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi. Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you? Good. How are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. Yeah. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities. High school students, are you looking for a way to become a better leader? Then the Junior Officers Training Corps may be what you're seeking. If you would like to develop self-reliance, learn ways to be more responsible, and improve your communication skills, you can do that and more when you register for the Junior Officers Training Corps. The JROTC program is available to all high school students in Mobile County. JROTC, we build a better you.
It's your time, it's your season, and you are made for more. More confidence, more style, and more bling. The Genuine Bling is here to deliver you more bling and more fashion. With new styles added daily, you can shop anytime and look fabulous. Join me, Charmaine Watson, on the $5 Frenzy every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. It's cute, it's fabulous, it's fashionable, it's $5, it's paparazzi.
Yo, I'm on my way to the mall, the Bel Air Mall. And I'm checking out Trey Pay's Cafe. Trey Pay's is so much fun. They got the fanciest snowballs on the planet. Plus a loaded quarter-pounder beef fry. Trey Pay's Cafe. The nachos are slamming and the fries are banging. Don't forget desserts. Deep-fried cheesecake bites, deep-fried Oreos, and a whole lot more. It's the food that makes you feel good. Trey Pay's Cafe inside the Bel Air Mall. Come now and come hungry.
I'm Keith Blackwood, your Mobile County District Attorney. I want to remind you about the truancy laws. 5 unexcused absences requires you to attend the early warning truancy program. Failure to attend the early warning truancy program can cause you to appear before a judge in circuit court. We need you to stay in school. This is a serious law, and it needs to be taken very seriously. I wish you and your family a safe, happy, and successful school year.
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism is negatively impacting
1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
We welcome you back to the battlefield at Ben Glover Stadium. And Corey, Ben Glover in attendance tonight. We had a chance to see Kimberly Dunn interview him. Beautiful, beautiful half moon night. It's gone, Corey. Oh, there's the field. I forgot we got a football game. I was ready for my astronomy lesson.
Stargazing here at Ben Glover Stadium out on the dip.
But it was great to see Ben Glover down on the field. And then BC Rain scored a touchdown during the interview. So that was great, man. So second half headed your way here. LaFlore will be receiving. Savario Singleton and Jalen Scott lined up to receive this kickoff from Mr. Joel Hernandez as we're starting the second half. Hernandez boots it. Singleton going to pick it up around the 22-yard line, brings it up the middle as he is leveled at the 35. Let's check in with Kimberly Dunn. I believe she had a chance to talk to Renato Jackson during halftime.
Hey guys, that's right. I was able to talk with Coach Jackson as he was coming back onto the field with his team and ask him kind of what kind of headspace they were in and if he felt like they were playing to their fullest potential. And he said absolutely not. He felt like so far tonight's score, 14 of those points should not be on the board because he felt like those were self-inflicted wounds that they allowed to happen. He said, we've got to come out here. We have to be the best version of ourselves in order for this football game to go a different direction and to even get on the scoreboard. He said his team is motivated because they know what they need to do, and all they have to do now is make it happen.
Thank you, Kimberly. We'll check back in with you later on as the game progresses. Josh Scott getting the start here at quarterback in the second half. He rolls out, tosses to Singleton. That's a loose ball. That was a lateral backwards pitch, but LaFlore falls on it.
Live ball there in that situation, and Scott took an absolute lick. If we're able to look at that replay, he was being draped upon and had to get rid of and pitch the football. You look at the great job. Scott comes down the line and doesn't have a chance to pitch it cleanly, and he gets his hand tipped as he's trying to pitch the ball, causing it to go awkwardly in reverse for the Rattlers, and not the kind of start that head coach Renato Jackson would like to have for LaFlore to start the second half.
5-yard loss on the play. Brings up first and second and 15 here for the Rattlers. Flags on the play. Possibly going to be false start.
Well, but that ball, delay of game on the offense. Second down.
Delay of game, so that'll push the Rattlers back another 5 yards, Corey.
Well, that's yardage that you don't want to have. You can live with the fumble and scooping that up there, but now you're in a situation here, Al, to where you're looking at second and close to 33 or 34 yards to go, and that's not what this Rattler offense is built for. And BC Rain is going to continue to bring the house and be aggressive here and try to create some type of turnover again.
And we have flags once again.
That's going to be a false start as they saw Khalil Pirine creeping up to the line of scrimmage.
Unless it's offsides against BC Rain.
That's a false start. He jumped.
That ball, coachman.
Oh, I don't agree with that. Let's see that again now. You look at Khalil Pirine.
Call it against BC Rain there.
8 goes to attack at the line of scrimmage. If we're able to run that one back, I don't know if we are, but 8 attacks the line of scrimmage and saw the offensive guy jump a little bit as he attacks, but this 3-4 defense of Sean Burney has been very solid tonight.
Ball at the 25-yard lines. They toss it out to LaSure. Pass from LaSure to LaSure. He picks up a nice gain right there. Gets out near the 30, 31-yard line, possibly 32. It's going to be third down and long coming up for the Rattlers, maybe about 3rd and 12. So he got a good chunk of that back.
Great job of showing the speed and the quickness and putting that ball on the money. And sometimes you just have to get the ball out quick. And if you're able to get the ball out quick to the speed on the edge, you'll be just fine. LaFlore now at 3rd and 11.
Pass out to LaSure once again. And we have a flag on the play. I think that may be a possible hold.
Now Tony Peoples is on the BC Rain sideline instead of the Rattler sideline.
On the offense.
As they set that screen up for LaSure, probably one of those receivers got too much jersey.
On the offense. Put on decline. So everybody 3rd down.
It's 3rd down 11. You can see how quickly LaFlore is getting that ball out, trying to hit those perimeter, and there's your holding right there on LeSure.
Yep.
And surely he gets called for that holding, and it's going to be declined, which brings up 4th and 11.
Down. Anthony Garrett said 3rd down, but it is 4th down. BC Rain declined that penalty, so Dylan Robinson heads to his own 39-yard line to set up D'Antonio LeSure on this end of the field. Corey, we saw 2 punts blocked in the first quarter. One of them led to a score, a blocked punt and a score by Ricky Nichols to get us going. And we have a stoppage in play here as the officials are going to discuss some things.
They're discussing whether it's 3rd down or 4th down. The penalty was declined, and that's one of the things that they were looking at. And that's exactly what they're talking about now.
They're reviewing it.
People's talking with Garrett about whether the penalty was declined and what it is.
Mike Rogers steps in there and says it's 4th down.
And
because that was 3rd down.
And they declined it after the play gained minimum yardage. But Ashton Yates, number 9, 6'1", 200-pound senior, is the long snapper here on this play, and that's something to keep an eye on to whether there will be a problem with the snap to punter exchange. And they just want to make sure that they do get it correct in regards to the correct down.
Calling another official in to make sure we have the right. But as far as I know, Corey, it should be 4th down.
It was 3rd down on that play, and if they would have gone ahead and taken the yardage, then you would have gotten an opportunity to have 3rd down once again. But because they declined it, now it does put up LaFlore with the punting position. And Yates is the long snapper. LeSure D'Antonio is the punter. And it doesn't need to take a bounce here before LeSure is able to scoop it up.
Good snap and a good punt by LeSure right there. Robinson's going to field it at his own 28. At the hash, wrapped up and tackled. So BC Rain will get their first opportunity to touch the ball here in the second half with some decent field position coming up here for Coach Yelding and the Red Raiders.
Jeremy Connolly, the 6', 205-pound sophomore, doing an outstanding job on special teams, hustling down the field and coming away with that tackle. And Connolly, he's one of those players I mentioned earlier, was a Crichton Optimist Club Player of the Week. We do have 4 Crichton Optimist Club Players of the Week.
I have seen a few stars tonight, Corey. I sure have.
Stars on the helmet. 1st and 10, BC Rain. We'll see if they take this shot here early. Offensive coordinator Famous Davis wasn't able to get what he wanted right before the half.
High snap to Yeldon. They give it to Bryce Dowling right up the middle. He busts the run near the 50-yard line, picks up the 1st down. The bowling ball rolling right down the lane there.
BC Rain all-time 8-5-0 against LaFlore, and the high snaps have been a problem and plagued both of these teams tonight. But BC Rain all-time 8-5 versus LaFlore.
Dylan Robinson slung out of bounds. His left foot went out of bounds, and I believe one of the LaFlore defenders comes up a bit shaky there, but walks it off. It's going to bring up 2nd down here for the Red Raiders, a loss on the play of about 1 or 2 yards.
And Lawrence Yelding, in his 5th year as the head coach of these Red Raiders programs, having an opportunity to coach his son, and a lot of these young men were 8th graders coming in when he took the head coaching job, and he's done a phenomenal job with this program.
Hand off back to Dowling once again. He takes a spin move, and the Rattlers are waiting for him, Corey. They wrap him up quickly, so that's going to take BC Rain to 3rd down.
Not quite sure why they're having such a problem with the high snaps tonight, because 2 weeks ago against Centronell, that's something we didn't see from Clintarius Bradley. We didn't see him with his 6'3", 325-pound frame have really any bad or awkward snaps. And we've seen about 6 or 7 tonight that have been high, but Yelding's done a decent job of finding them. 3rd down and 12 yards to go for the Red Raiders.
Yelding has time, takes his time, strikes right over the middle, and connects with Dylan Robinson. It kind of takes a lick toward the end of that play, getting up a little slow, Corey.
Look at how he spins the ball twice. One 2, has time in a clean pocket. Anytime you're able to get in the rhythm, that's what Yeldon does to get into that rhythm before he's ready to let it go. And when he does let it go, great reception there. And when you have a clean pocket and you're not able to get pressure on the quarterback, Yeldon can make you pay.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of LaFlore. BC Rain's first time touching the ball here in the second half. And the Rattlers touch Bryce Dowling right there behind the line of scrimmage as they kind of put a sandwich on him, Corey.
Yeah, we saw a sandwich earlier, but that's a great job of the Rattlers, Jeremy Conley and Demetrius Toney, putting the gray in the middle and squishing him without any gain. Matter of fact, a 4-yard loss on the play, going to bring up 2nd down and 14 yards to go. And Yeldon, if he has a clean pocket, he's going to be able to find 1 or 5 from a wide receiver standpoint, a false start.
Flags on the play. That's going to go against BC Rain.
Good ball. False start on the offense. Please start down.
Pushes the Red Raiders back 5 yards as we approach the midway point of the 3rd quarter here. Taking a shot at the fans right there in attendance tonight here at Ben Glover Stadium on Dauphin Island Parkway. We appreciate you joining us tonight for all the action here with BC Rain and LaFlore. 2nd down and long coming up for the Red Raiders. Yeldon has time, just flicks his wrist, and look at the footwork displayed by BC Rain, but it will not count. Man, showing the footwork, Antonio Williams, but he was not able to complete the catch. Watch just a flick of the wrist by Yeldon. Flat-footed, Corey, didn't even step into it.
And a great effort trying to come away with this football, just was not able to stay in bounds. And now you're at a 3rd down, and you look at the yards to go right at 18 yards for the Red Raiders. And if you're LaFlore, you cannot let anything get behind you. There's no reason you should give up a 3rd down and 18. I know TJ McCord, an outstanding defensive coordinator, will be super duper frustrated if they give this up.
Yeldon swings it out to Bryce Dowling. No blockers in front of him as he's going to be tackled, taken out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So that's going to bring up 4th down, and we'll say about, 13, maybe 14 here for the Red Raiders, and they'll definitely be going for it.
Yeah, you go to your check down and you stay safe there, but the ball's officially spotted at the Rattlers' 37-yard line, and no hurry here for BC Rain as they're leading 26-0 with 5 minutes remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
Play clock approaching 10 seconds. Yeldon giving out the commands to his teammates. Empty set here for the Red Raiders, so they're going to send everyone out. Rattlers putting pressure on Yeldon. He's just going to throw it away. It's 4th down almost as if it's a punt, so it'll be ball over on downs here. LaFlore takes over at the 4:51 mark. We got a chance, opportunity to put up some of those other graphics possible, not saying playoff scenarios, but this is kind of what's in front of some of these teams here. 6A Region 1. Saraland is off tonight. I'm not going to say where Jeff Kelly is, but I have a feeling he's down here watching that Theodore McGill game. Those are his last 2 opponents. But look at the rest of it as you have Spanish Fort. They have the victory over Theodore. Corey, we had that game early September, so it's critical. If Theodore wins tonight, they're still going to be locked in battle. And right there, St. Paul's and McGill kind of duking it out to see who's going to possibly get the 4th spot.
And McGill-Tulin trailing the Theodore Bobcats tonight big, and we'll see if Blunt is able to play spoiler.
That's right.
Knock off St. Paul's from where they're sitting.
And next week, the big matchup, Theodore and Saraland, they're going to meet in Saraland, so that's a big ball game as well. Fake the jet sweep, they give it to Singleton, and guess who he runs into? Special Agent 0, Ashton Wright.
And Khalil P. Ryan helping him out to make sure no yards after contact. 2nd and 10, no gain on the play. And we look at these stats here. At halftime, LaFlore not over 20 yards rushing.
Correct.
And here in the second half of action, really struggling to find that momentum. Now, again, the quick passes have been very effective for Josh Scott on the perimeter, just getting the ball out of his hands very quickly.
Man in motion. They fake it again. Throwing it out. That is intercepted. It is intercepted by BC Rain. Second turnover of the night for LeFlore.
Jordan Bynes comes away with his third interception of the season. The strong safety, 5'11", 175-pound junior, was able to get underneath that quick pass and creates another turnover for LeFlore. And we'll see if BC Rain is able to go ahead and score here offensively. Its first touchdown of the second half.
I like how Bynes got his hands up underneath the ball, made sure he kept his hands between the ball and the carpet so it would not be incomplete. So at 4:07, BC Rain is going to start this drive from the 33-yard line of LeFlore. Looking to bust it open. Hand off to Miriam Davis on the sweep once again. Who's blocking? Bryce Dowling. Davis knocked out of bounds near the 24-yard line. Second down coming up. I believe he may be about 1 yard shy, Corey.
Look at the hit. Look at the finish here by the Rattlers, Ashton Sneed.
Sure did.
And you're looking at a real light running back who has a lot of speed, but Sneed is able to lay the lumber, and we'll see here where the officials are officially going to mark this spot.
So like Davis, that run 1 yard short. He needed to get to the 23.
So a tremendous play here. Now Bryce Dowling, he's really looking for the football. And if you feed him and he gets past the line of scrimmage, you'll see his speed.
High snap to Davis. They fake it, give it to Dowling. Up the middle he goes. Picks up the first down. Still got the legs going as he breaks inside of the 10, and a flag comes out. Corey, it has been getting a bit chippy tonight as they get Dowling up out the pile right there because he's a bit upset.
Yeah, you just have to maintain your composure. We saw him get his face mask almost ripped off in the first half, but it will be another face mask. Bryce Dowling very frustrated here because that's not the first time tonight LeFlore has grabbed him by his face mask. But, you know, the young fella has to understand, how do I make him pay? I just add to the total here at the end of that run. You do grab the face mask at the bottom of the pile, and it gets a little chippy at the bottom of that pile, and we'll see here if Dowling does come out of the game to kind of cool off and decompress a little bit. He's a little frustrated himself.
Yeah, they're going to bring him to the sideline. So after the penalty, half the distance to the goal, it's going to be first and goal from the 5-yard line for the Red Raiders. Amarian Davis going to line up in the backfield next to Yelding. They fake it to Davis and throw it outside. Incomplete. Juggling the pass, Jamarcus Coates couldn't haul it in, Corey.
Great play call. You try to fake it in the belly, and he pulls it, and you're trying to hit your big tight end who would have been wide open. He was wide open, just wasn't able to bring that football in, and continuing to knock in the red zone area here. 5-yard line is where the Red Raiders are going to be. Bryce Dowling does check back into the contest, and we've already seen his number called for a couple of touchdowns. Could he make this to trifecta, Al?
Hand off to Dowling. Kind of takes a slip on the carpet there just a bit. They're going to stop his forward progress. Players still pushing and talking there. As I said, things getting a bit chippy here, so the referees, Anthony Garrett and his crews, got to get it under control so things don't get out of hand. Right now, 3rd and goal for BC Rain.
Well, you do have Bryce Dowling, and you also have Amari Yelding. We've seen him in situations here go ahead and fake the handoff, pull it in an RPO, and run the football in. We've seen that a couple of times on film by Amari Yelding, and offensive coordinator Famous Davis here with the ball at the 5-yard line. Let's see what he does.
Got the big fellas in, and it may be possibly illegal motion.
Good ball. Coachman on the defense.
So they drew LaFlore off, but they're walking backwards as if the call is against BC Rain.
Now that shift will definitely make you think about what you need to do. That's where you just have to make sure you look at the ball.
Encouragement by the defense.
Half the distance.
Half the distance to the goal, so it caused the Rattlers to jump. Still got the big fellas in there.
Like I mentioned, number 3 can get number 3 as far as from a touchdown night standpoint here.
Direct snap to Bryce Dowling behind Zion Hill and the big fellas. And there's the hat trick for Dowling as he gets it in with the touchdown carry.
And number 3, he just takes out his frustration on this LaFlore defense. You look at the big lineman pulling, and he didn't need much space because we've seen him be a tremendous, we call him the bowling ball for a reason because how low he runs to the ground, and he has low pad level. And because he has that low pad level, the only opportunity you have really is to grab his face mask sometimes. And unfortunately, it's been a couple times for him tonight, but he's been able to take out his frustrations on that end zone area, scoring his 3rd touchdown, 2 rushing and 1 receiving tonight.
Hernandez puts up the extra point. It is no good, so our score is 32-0. Got a break right here. Look at this last playoff possibility going on with 7A Region 1. MGM in control of the ball game tonight at Daphne. I think they're pitching a shutout over there, so it looks like they're going to wrap up the region and be the region champs. But, Corey, look at what's left. Baker's playing Fairhope. That's 1 game remaining. Daphne still has MGM and Foley. And when I last checked, I believe Davidson was up on top of Foley. So that's a critical matchup taking place right now.
Absolutely. You do look at Davidson trying to stay alive. Recall he has a senior league ball club led by DJ Butler, who had missed a couple of weeks due to ankle injury.
Correct.
Back in action. And I heard that in the first half, DJ Butler had 4 touchdowns in the first half alone.
Oh, my goodness.
So, you know, they went to that single wing offense when they had a couple of injuries at quarterbacks. Don't know what they're running tonight, but whatever it is, DJ Butler is working out.
So if Davidson picks up that win, they would be 2-3. Foley would be 2-3, but Davidson would have the head-to-head over Foley. And next week we're going to have that Fairhope-Baker game here on the network, and that's going to be big because Baker would need to win that game to pretty much lock down the number 2 position and get them a home playoff game as they did last year with Steve Norman and the crew. So as a look at the 7A region possibilities, and we'll find out next week who may be in or who may be out as we get closer. Little pooch kick right there by Hernandez. Kind of catches LaFlore off guard, but they were ready for it. Got to thank Firehouse Subs for being on the team with us tonight. Enjoy more subs and save more lives. A portion of subs purchased at Firehouse will go to the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. So check out our friend Neil Patel at the Greenlight Road Firehouse Subs location. Also, we want to thank BSN Sports. If you need some team apparel, whether it's badminton or wrestling, all sports in between, BSN Sports, they have you covered. They're the heart of the game. Visit them online at bsnsports.com. Got to thank them for being on the team, helping us bring you the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. And, of course, Corey, we got that Brain Buster coming up, so stick around for that question. We'll be revealing it soon as we're getting close to the 4th quarter. BC Rain in charge, 32-0, pitching a shutout here tonight over LaFlore.
Looking forward to getting that Brain Buster as we do have 1:27 remaining here. The Rattlers trying to put back-to-back first downs together, and BC Rain is not having any of that as you look at Khalil Pirine coming in, making the stop, along with having a little help from his bandit linebacker friend Trenton Reese, the 5'7", 160-pound junior. And you're seeing a lot of gray helmet swarm to the football. No gain on the play. Second and 10.
Second and 10 here coming up for LaFlore. We're under 1 minute remaining in the 3rd quarter. Scott still in at quarterback. They fake the jet sweep to Leon Rocker. And all I see are gray shirts on top of Savario Singleton as they tackle him for a loss, Corey.
The BC Rain Red Raider defense in the trenches. Ashton Wright along with Aaron Moore coming from his linebacker position, making sure, again, another yard lost for LaFlore. They're they're keeping the Rattlers from having any positive rushes. And I think we've seen maybe one large run for LaFlore here in the contest. And what you have to have, Al, is on this 3rd and 11 some type of consistency here to move the sticks. I know Ryan Powell's going to dial it up here, the coordinator,
and that's going to be that's the end of the 3rd quarter, so LaFlore didn't have to snap it. So we're going to stay here and reveal that game of the week brain buster question for it, Corey. So between the quarters, we'll keep it simple for you, Corey. Name the last head coach to lead BC Reign to a region title.
No multiple choice, I noticed.
No multiple choice, nor is that the brain buster music. So I don't know what button Eric pressed right there. There it is. There it is.
Tick-tock.
Got to make you think about it, see, Corey. There it is. So now we'll make it official. All right, Corey, here's a game of the week brain buster question. Name the last head coach to lead BC Reign to a region title. Think about that. Contemplate that. In this day and age, Corey, you may dial up a Facebook friend. We got folks watching us online. So.
Yeah, you have multiple opportunities there, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube to chime in live and to comment. And you did get a lot of positive comments from the band's performances at halftime for sure.
And one thing we definitely got a lot of positive comments about, Corey, was our broadcast of the MCPSS Middle School Football Championships yesterday. Had a great time here at Ben Glover Stadium as Lott won the small division title and Pillins won the large division title. But the comments I saw on Facebook and YouTube as they were encouraging the players, but more importantly, the fans who came out to attend both those games, especially from Citronelle and down in the Bayou, man, to come up and support those two teams.
Tremendous
that was huge.
Attendance, and LaFlore is going to get sacked here from the blind side as Scott didn't see the defensive end coming on the play. Tyrese Sutton, I do believe number 35, the defensive tackle, 6 foot, 240-pound sophomore, going to get credit for that sack. And he does come from that blind side to where if you don't see it, you're going to be in trouble. And you do look at the Red Raiders all time since 279 wins, 344 losses, 6 ties. And I mentioned being 8-5 versus LaFlore. And also, BC Reign is 18-0 since 2000 when scoring 40 or more.
Here's a kick from LeFlore, gets it off. Dylan Robinson just going to stay away from it. And we'll take a look at those middle school champs in the small division yesterday. Here's a little recap we got for you. They won the ball game 20-6. There's Braylon Williams on the run there, Corey. We called his name a lot yesterday, man.
Plenty of speed by this young man. Locked the gates in Centradale. Braylon Williams getting it done.
It was a great day to support the youngsters yesterday. That's the Alba and Lott game right there. It was really, really awesome. And last players, they went to shake hands against the Alba Sharks. So Lott, your small division champions for the middle school division here at MCPSS. Nice shout out to the LaFlore band, Corey.
Always a pleasure to see and listen to the LaFlore Rattler Marching Band, and they do a phenomenal job, not only during the marching band season, but also when you look at Mardi Gras season as well.
So an unsportsmanlike call. Coach Yelding a bit upset as he's talking to the officials.
And there's been a lot of chippy play, Al.
Right.
Without question.
And you know if Coach Yelding takes that visor off, he got to be a little hot there, Corey.
We'll wait for them to go ahead and mark it off.
We'll walk it off here now.
You look at 11:03 remaining in the 4th quarter of action, and the Red Raiders leading 32-0.
And the visor back on the head of Coach Lawrence Yelding. So not very often I see him without the visor, Corey. That's why I said he must have been pretty perturbed.
Oh, absolutely. He's upset.
Had the visor off. Take a look at the large division yesterday with Causey versus Pillins And look at a touchdown right there. That's the Derek Gobbled, I believe, number 3 for Pillins. And here's the interception with Matthew McWilliams, and running to the left right there, Matt Moore, our statistician, as he ran the sideline. And congratulations to Coach Moore and his Pillins Eagles as they win the large division, Corey, and go undefeated, 8-0, just like Lott went 8-0 well. So that's awesome. Check in with Kimberly Dunn on the sideline. She has something she wants to share. What's up, Kim?
Hey, we've talked a little bit tonight about the bands, and so I wanted to give you a little insight into what happens down here on the field. I know we've seen some chippiness from the teams, but these bands have been very supportive of each other. During their halftime shows, they were cheering each other on like they were their biggest fans. And then after the bands get done performing, they actually go and visit the visitor band. So the home team, the home band will go to the other sidelines and they'll chat with them and just make sure that they feel welcome. So really, really great sportsmanship from both of these bands tonight, and something that our viewers might not know about them.
Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Now, Corey, if I go back in time, I can't exactly say it was sportsmanship during my day. It may have been some words shared between the drum majors and the section leaders, but you know, times have changed right there.
No, that's why you call it the battle of
the battle of the bands.
And you have the drum majors, look, anything you can do, I can do better. And
right.
Yielding showing on that particular pass.
Injured Rattler on the field there just outside the 20. That was a nice catch by Antonio Williams, as we're going to have an injury timeout as they take a look at him. All right, Corey, let's put up the answer to our Game of the Week Brain Buster. We've given you a time to think about it. Oh, Eric found the right music. All right, so here we go. Name the last head coach to lead BC Reign to a region title, Corey LeBound.
Well, I know that Coach Schamberger won a title, but the most recent, Tellis Stone was able to come away with one.
Tellis Stone?
So I like Tellis as being the most recent, the last head coach to lead BC Reign to a region title.
All right, so we'll get Miss Diane to hit the button and we'll reveal the answer there for us. Corey, you should have went with your first mind. It is actually Anthony Schamberger back in 2005. Tellis Stone did lead them to the playoffs, but it wasn't a region title.
It was a third-round playoff run.
And it was a great run, but they didn't win the region title that year. But here's your +1, Anthony Schamberger, a former head coach at LaFlore and a classmate of mine, 1988 graduate of LaFlore. So I saw him this past week when he was at work.
And he's still now in the school system as an assistant principal at Williamson High School.
I saw him at Williamson the other day, as a matter of fact. And we have a score that's going to be
brought back.
No, it's not going to be a score. It's going to be brought back. Flag on the play. And Corey, the hold is going to take it off the board. That won't get Coach Yielding a smile at all right there.
Well, what you're doing is you're continuing to take what the defense is giving you at this point in time, and Amari Yielding had a nice little dump-off pass, but
hold it on the offense. First down.
That was to Jamarcus Coates coming from his H-back
Coates, once again, we've called his name a few times tonight, but unfortunately there was a hole. You could possibly see it right there, committed by Antonio Williams as the flag comes in. Ball placed just outside of the red zone at the 22-yard line. So about first and we'll call it maybe 13 here coming up for the Red Raiders. All in control tonight, 32-0. Trying to pitch their first shutout of the season if they can hold on. Yielding just flicks that one right in the middle. Wow. And Corey, guess who it goes to? The man who just possibly was labeled with the hole, Antonio Williams. Did you see the touch by Yielding?
It was a beautiful, you mentioned the flick of the wrist earlier. He threw it to a tight window. He knew exactly how to lead his wide receiver, Coates. Coates shows the soft hands, tips it to himself.
Oh, that's a beautiful
and he's
catch.
able, is that 5?
That's 5.
Yes, that's
no,
Williams.
That's Antonio Williams.
Williams able to catch that, tips it to himself. Great job of knowing that Williams was going to throw it past, Yielding was going to throw it past the corner on the play, and when you're able to tip it to yourself, a great catch by Antonio Williams, and he scores his first receiving touchdown.
Extra point is good. 39-0 is our score.
There's a lot to like about Mobile County Public Schools.
What I enjoy about Mobile County School is the extra attention my teachers give us to help us learn.
Teachers are liking their access to technology, and students are liking the quality of their education.
I like the technology that's been incorporated into my education.
And since 1826, you have trusted us to prepare your child for their future, and we like that. Mobile County Public Schools. We are learning today, leading tomorrow.
Shot of Bryce Dowling right there as he holds up the 3, signifying his 3 touchdowns tonight. But that last touchdown from Yelding to Williams was a work of art, Corey, as Williams one-handed it. For a second, as we were talking off air, I thought it was floating if it would have been picked off, because Yelding was rolling to his left, throwing against his body. Take a look at the replay right here.
Just found a beautiful window there. You look at him directing traffic and knew exactly what to put on this football, and no help over the top.
No help from the safety. Nope.
You don't have help over the top, and you're able to throw and lay that football out beyond the defender. Just a tremendous throw, and even better catch by Antonio Williams, the 6'2", 195-pound senior.
Hernandez squibs it right up the middle. LaFlore is going to down it at their own 33-yard line. 9:17 remaining here in the ball game. BC Rain trying to hold on to pitch their first shutout of the season, but more importantly, improved to a record of 6-2 overall and 4-2 in the region. It is getting tight this time of the year. As we said earlier, a 9-team region, and for BC Rain, tonight a must-win. Next week, they're going to host Alberta. Then they're going on the road, playing the #1 team in the state in 5A, the Gulf Shores Dolphins, who are off tonight, as a matter of fact.
BC Rain 39-6 since 2000 when allowing less than 10 points. And this offense came up averaging 30.4 points per game. They've hit their average and then some.
They have.
This defense had been giving up 20.1 points per game. So that scoring average is going to drop for defensive coordinator Sean Burney also.
Scott hands off to Singleton. He picks up a couple on the carry. Brings up second down for the Rattlers, and for Coach Renato Jackson and his crew, offensive coordinator Ryan Powell, by no means do they want to go home with a goose egg. They want to get some points on the board. They're playing for pride here. They want to get some points.
One thing about Renato Jackson, the head coach in his second year at LaFlore, he's not going to quit. He's not going to give up. He calls it T-ville tough. That's his motto, trying to be 1-0 every day, every week, and he's trying to build a culture here at LaFlore for the football program to build on and sit on, and no quit in Renato Jackson.
Second down at about 7 coming up for the Rattlers. Scott looks to the sideline, play clock under 10 seconds. They get the snap off, toss it to Singleton, runs outside the numbers. LaFlore is going to keep him outside the numbers, gang tackle him for a loss. Brings up third down here coming up for the Rattlers.
Well, another third down and long situation for offensive coordinator Ryan Powell, and you just have to ask your offensive line to give you a little bit of protection there, allow the pocket to roll, or to be able to try to get your wide receivers open. And I do see another penalty flag on the field, and it's been very chippy out there, and the referees are going to be on top of the unsportsmanlike conduct and the taunting, because it's right on the hash of the 40-yard line of LaFlore.
Good ball. On step right. Take number 8, Tony, 8. Number 8.
You hear Anthony Garrett letting Coach Yelding know what number it was doing a little bit of unsportsmanlike taunting, but it does give the Rattlers a first down, which is positive in regards to having them to be able to open up this playbook. But I do like when Josh Scott gets out this football quickly to Singleton and his other couple of wide receivers.
Ball at the 47-yard line. Play clock under 10 seconds. Scott still looking to the sideline. Needs to get this ball snapped. They get it off just in time. Rolling to his right. Does have a man. That's D'Antonio LaFlore. I saw some jersey there, but no flag comes out, Corey.
You look at rolling the pocket. Great job of rolling the pocket by Josh Scott and trying to find his athlete, which is also a quarterback. D'Antonio LaFleur is a big target at 6'5", 215. Just not able to come away with that, and now you're looking at 2nd and 10 yards to go.
LaFleur gets back to the huddle. And the Rattlers break right there, something we rarely see in high school, a huddle on the field. Once again, play clock under 10. LaFleur waving at Scott, saying, I'm out here. They give it to Singleton. He gets past the 50-yard line into Red Raiders territory. It's still going to be 3rd and about 5 coming up here for LaFleur if they want to get a first down and keep this drive going.
Yeah, what the wingback allows you to do, 22 Cedric Riley, where he's lining up, he becomes a lead blocker for your running back Singleton, and is able to, if Singleton's able to get past the line of scrimmage and into the open field, he's able to find somebody at that 2nd level to put a hat on and get great yardage for LaFleur running the football there. 3rd down, and we'll call it 6 to go, Al.
Scott's pass to LaFleur is caught at the 40-yard line. That's a first down, something we haven't said in a while for the Rattlers. They pick it up at a crucial point right there in the ball game.
Yeah, that's a huge catch by LaFleur, and that's something you see. Quick releases to your big athlete. I'm not even going to call him a wide receiver. He's just a flat-out athlete.
I agree with you on that.
And, you know, because when you could go from wide receiver to running back to wide receiver to punter, it's just so much versatility by this young man, D'Antonio LaFleur, only a junior for LaFleur.
1st and 10 from the 40 for the Rattlers. Singleton with the carry comes to the near side as he is tackled and brought down. Picks up maybe 2 or 3 on the carry as we are under 6 minutes here remaining in the ball game. LaFleur trying to get on the board to get that goose egg off, but BC Rain, they want the shutout, Corey.
Yeah, that's what's critical here for defensive coordinator Sean Burney. And I mentioned Coach Burney being a former LaFleur Rattler head coach just for 1 year. He would like nothing more than to have an opportunity to shut out his former team.
Ball at the 37-yard line of LaFleur. 2nd and about 7 coming up here for the Rattlers. And the band still going at it. Fake the toss. Scott does have a man open out there. Completes the pass to DeJuan LaFleur, and that's another LaFleur first down as the chains are going to move for the Rattlers.
Well, that's huge as far as the momentum that the Rattlers are trying to get, and no quit. I told you Coach Jackson is going to keep his foot on the gas as well as his players. He teaches them to continue to play through adversity, and offensive coordinator Ryan Powell has found something within this defense here on this drive to where LaFleur's had the most success that they've had all game long against this stingy BC Rain defense.
Knocking on the door of the red zone. Ball's at the 21-yard line. Hand off to Singleton as he goes behind the blocking of Cedric Riley. Nice run right there by Singleton. Picks up about 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's what you have to have, a great push up front as, again, LaFleur, they don't want a 0 on the board. They want to run tempo and keep BC Rain on the heels, and this is a good timeout.
No surprise here at all as Sean Burney and Coach Yielding decide they need to take a timeout, give the defense a rest. They've given up 2 consecutive first downs, so no need to rush it. We'll take a break right here as well. Rain on top, 39-0.
Did you know that missing 2 days of school per month has a negative effect on student achievement?
And that chronic absenteeism
is negatively impacting 1 out of every 10 Alabama students.
Studies show students who are chronically absent are more likely to drop out of school. For every 1 day your child is absent from school, it takes 3 days for them to catch up.
So if I am not sick, make sure I'm at school, because missing school means missing out.
At Mobile County Public Schools, we are learning today, leading tomorrow. And this year, our teachers are aiming for excellence. Right now, BC Rain trying to be excellent and preserve the shutout if they can. But LaFlore is driving, Corey. 2nd down and about 3 coming up here for the Rattlers. Ball's on the 14-yard line. Another handoff to Singleton. Breaks it outside, gets inside of the 10, up to about the 9-yard line. That's going to be a 1st down. Corey, something we haven't said all night. It's going to be 1st and goal coming up here for the Rattlers.
Khalil Pirine does a great job of cleaning up on the play for the Red Raiders. And you do look at the clock here with 3:25 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Rattlers knocking on the red zone area right around the 9-yard line officially here, Al. And you know, you've had success with number 5, Singleton. Why not go ahead and let him finish and have an opportunity here, or find 0 or 6?
I was thinking, or the fade route to LeFlore in the corner, but they go to Singleton, taking him out wide. He cuts back up the middle, 9-yard score for Savario Singleton, and the shutout is over. LaFlore gets a touchdown.
Singleton with a great job, and he's been the difference maker for LaFlore. You see him plant his foot and cut back. The 5'7", 179-pound sophomore knows exactly what to do with it, knows what the end zone smells like, and you give him a little crease, and he's going to show you all the speed that he has. Great job by Mr. Singleton, getting the first points on the board for the LaFlore Rattlers.
LaFlore lining up for the extra point. Ashton Yates on. Play clock down to 3, 2, 1. They get the snap off. Kick is up. And it is good. 39-7 is our score.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ayla, hi. Oh, hi, Sierra. How are you? Good. How are things?
Things couldn't be better.
What do you mean?
Well, I just started this new job as a school teacher with the Mobile County Public Schools, and it has been a life changer. Great benefits, the hours are great, and great students. Just overall, it's a great opportunity.
Oh, wow, that sounds great. I'm going to look into that.
You should.
For more information, visit mcpss.com/job opportunities.
We welcome you back to the MCPSS High School Football Game of the Week. Next week, we're going to have a good one. Fairhope is going to visit Baker in a 7A Region 1 matchup, and it'll be a lot on the line right there for the Hornets as they're going to try to preserve their playoff position. And that's their last region game, Corey. So it's always good when Fairhope plays Baker. Matter of fact, Baker finally got the win, first time ever last year against Fairhope at home. So I'm sure the Pirates will want to exact some revenge. And Corey, don't worry, they're not bringing that cannon with them. Just want to let you know. They're not bringing the cannon.
Hey, look, we don't have to worry about that shock effect there next week. We may have some Hornets buzzing as the Hornet hooligans are in the house, but it's going to be another great 7A matchup.
Dylan Robinson with the kick return up past the 50-yard line. I don't see any flags on the play. Great return by Dylan Robinson as we are under 3 minutes here remaining in the ball game. Getting close to revealing our Career Tech Education Player of the Game, and I have a pretty good idea who it might be. So we'll get that up for you momentarily. But right now, up 32 points. Nothing for BC Rain to do is just basically just run this clock out.
Well, it's been a tremendous performance in back-to-back home games in regards to the last home game they had against Central. going on the road against UMS Wright, and then this one as well.
That scoring drive used 6 minutes and 19 seconds for LaFlore, Corey. That was huge right there to get their first touchdown in the ball game.
Well, what it also does is it creates some positive rushing yards here in the second half for LaFlore, gives them something to build upon as they look to move forward to playing Centronell next week.
That's right.
So LaFlore versus Centronell next week, and then you look at BC Rain playing Alberta. So we'll see exactly where 5A Region 1 continues to go.
Put up our Career Tech Education Player of the Game tonight, and it is the man who got a hat trick, Bryce Dowling, 3 touchdowns tonight, Corey. And on the third one, he threw up the number 3 that matched his jersey number. I loved it.
Yeah, a lot of frustration for that young man tonight that he was able to take out because he had 2 face masks called by the opponent by turning his face and his helmet almost all the way around, and that becomes a little frustrating as a runner because you're worried about your health and your well-being, but he was able to go ahead and take it out.
There's a shot of young fella right there
on LaFlore.
3 touchdowns, 3 scores tonight for the young man. High snap to Yielding. Fumble on the play. I think LaFlore hopped on top of that. Yielding tried to get back on top of it, but I believe LaFlore may have taken possession. And it is a turnover, so first turnover of the night for BC Rain.
Well, on my checklist, it was one of those that BC Rain wanted to win the turnover takeaway battle, and they had done a tremendous job of having none, and it was another high snap that wasn't cleanly put into the belly of the running back. And when you do have a high snap, you have to decide whether you're going to pull it, and that time Yielding probably should have tried to pull it because of the high snap that messed up the timing of that run for BC Rain.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for LaFlore. Ball at the 47-yard line. Looks actually closer to the 48 from my angle here in the press box. But we're not going to split hairs, Corey. Scott looks to pass. Pressure's on him. And there's a fumble right there, and BC Rain is going to hop on top of it. So the fumble gods giveth and the fumble gods taketh away.
Well, you want to go ahead and win that turnover takeaway battle. Jamarcus Williams, the cornerback, able to get on top of that one. And great job by Scott stepping up and avoiding the sack. And the ball comes out as he's hit and is stripped from behind. And the Red Raiders able to get this ball on a nice hop. And you see nothing but great jerseys there around the football. And now for this last 2:27, BC Rain, if they get a first down within this first 4-down territory, they'll be able to go ahead and take that knee and get into victory formation.
1st down and 10, balls at the 49-yard line of BC Rain. Handoff up the middle. Go the Red Raiders, picks up about 5 or 6, and we have some extracurriculars on the far side of the field. 1, 2, 3, 4 flags, a helmet pulled off. Chipping is definitely going on here tonight, Corey.
Yeah, you want to stay away from this right here. You don't want any extracurricular activities or players to miss out on any more of the remaining games, that's for sure. But when you look at it, you'll probably wind up having offsetting penalties.
I believe so.
By both squads, and you have 2:09 remaining here in a game that is 39-7 in favor of BC Rain. And we've mentioned the chippiness that has been going on between the two squads, and there's definitely been a fair share of penalty flags, and I don't think we'll have any ejections. If you see the notepads come out,
that's right. That's right. You know what that means.
You have an issue, but you definitely want to go ahead and assess the unsportsmanlike for both teams and see exactly what you have.
Anthony Garrett and the crew, they're going to discuss it. They've sent both teams to the sidelines. Of Corey, you can see at the top of the screen right there, number 70 and 24, so ripping the helmet off.
That's definitely unsportsmanlike. I wouldn't, necessarily say you have to have an ejection there, but it's definitely unsportsmanlike without question. Now, if you deem it unnecessary, you can go ahead and eject them, but that's not the first time we've seen a helmet yanked all the way off tonight. So again, if you see them going to the notepad, you know that you do have an ejection, but I don't think it's ejection worthy. I think that it is definitely unsportsmanlike for sure. Now, if any punchers were thrown, that's a whole different story, but I didn't see that. I just see a dead ball.
Personal foul on the white team, 24, number 24.
And that was the young man who did rip off the helmet of the lineman. That was J. Mark Pitway.
Personal foul, 24 white.
And that's exactly what started it all. And, you do look at a situation to where you are at 2:09 remaining here in the fourth quarter of play, and one in which that's going to be a free 15 for the Red Raiders, and they'll take over right at the Rattlers' 32-yard line, Al. And I mentioned that all they needed was one more set of fresh first downs, and that is going to give them a first down. And really, you're able here to run 4 plays, whether you decide to take 4 knees or not. You're still in the situation you just don't want to have any penalties if you're BC Rain.
And Yelding does take the knee there, Corey. So as I was waiting for the penalty to be sorted out, Corey, took a brief look in history currently with this win coming up tonight for BC Rain. That will be 5 in a row for the Red Raiders, Corey. The last time BC Rain won 5 games in a row, you have to go back to 2005, Corey. That was the last time they won a region title, and the head coach was Anthony Schamberger.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Schamberger having a chance to play at LaFlore, to coach at LaFlore, to come over here and coach at BC Rain, and you have this one last play here that will be ran by the Red Raiders.
Second down, take another knee, yeah.
It's pretty much all over. The fat lady is continuing to warm up the vocal cords.
Now, as we talk about some of these other teams in the area that are, undefeated and hot, right now you've got to keep your eyes on the Red Raiders, Corey. They are probably one of the hottest teams we're going to have in the region, picking up their 5th win in the row, but most importantly, a region win tonight, because the importance is it keeps their playoff hopes alive with this 39-7 victory over LaFlore.
Yeah, Alberta next week, and I do believe it's another home game for the Red Raiders. So their tremendous winning streak that they've had against Central and LaFlore, and they're trying to make Alberta their next opponent in which they get a region win, and 39-7 will be the final score here. And you look at what the Red Raiders were able to accomplish tonight and get out of here. Still, the penalties is something I know Coach Yelding's probably going to harp on and talk about.
Correct.
But the effort that his team gave and the execution, getting on LaFlore early, rattled the Rattlers. That was huge.
And I'm going to say all phases of the game, offense, defense, and special team. They had a special team score, which was the first score of the ball game, a block punt that turned into a touchdown.
Yeah, you look at a couple of block punts, and it did lead to some great offensive opportunities for Bryce Dowland and Amari Yelding, and they were able to execute offensively, and LaFlore was able to go ahead and find a way to get on the board late, and in the fourth quarter was able to keep the shutout from happening. And you saw the quickness of Josh Scott being able to get the ball out of his hands, and you saw Singleton being able to show his speed and his elusiveness getting into the end zone.
Yeah, impressed with Singleton and his speed and his way he can run and move, but LaFlore's got to definitely work on some things. Coach Jackson, they're going to have to clean some things up on their side of the ball as well.
Central next week for the LaFlore Rattlers at home in the Snake Pit, so it's not going to be an easy task as the Wildcats playing UMS Wright tonight, and UMS Wright was up 10-0 at the half there. So we'll see this game right here, as statistically you look at LaFlore be able to get 87 rushing yards out, which is huge. Not a lot of passing, but 249 total for BC Rain, and the turnovers, they were able to win that turnover battle, but the penalties by both squads have to be improved upon.
Definitely have to do that. Let's take it down to winning coach Lawrence Yelding with Kimberly Dunn.
Coach Yelding, congratulations on the win. I know that you said this just gets you one step closer to the goal. How do you feel like y'all are preparing for that?
I thought we came out a little flat, but I thought we picked it up a little bit. You know, I told us out all week, you can't take people, lightly. They came out, they played hard. They gave us their best shot. I mean, we definitely had to earn it. Coach is doing a great job over there with his guys. But I mean, we persevered. We made it through. Now we just got to go get ready for the next one.
Yeah. So in preparing for the next one, do you feel like there are some adjustments that need to be made in order to make that happen?
We just got to practice better. I think we came in a little too confident this week. So Alberta's going to come back this next week. Coach McNames does a great job with his guys. So they're going to come here ready to play. And we're just going to learn it and use it as a building block and just understand that you got to practice well every day. People are going to show up and give you their best effort. Right now we've been struggling to get to the top. We're not there yet, but we're making those strides. And, we're one of the teams that people are looking to beat right now. So our guys got to understand that, and they got to come to practice every day.
All right, well, best of luck to you, Coach, and hopefully y'all make it to those playoffs.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations to Coach Yelding and the Red Raiders. Next week, our game, it'll be the Pirates and the Hornets going at it. Fairhope versus Baker. We'll kick it off with the pregame at 6:50. So for Kimberly Dunn, my broadcast partner, Coralie Bounty, statistician tonight, China Powell, executive producer, Quentin Howard, director, Wade Ford, and engineer, Fran Conway, I'm Al Whedon. Thanking you for tuning in tonight. Boy, the Red Raiders are one hot team. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They pick up the win tonight, 39-7. Have yourself a great weekend.